If you've ever been ready to go and your video service just crashes a minute before you're supposed to go live, then you'd be me this morning. But go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button because we're back. We've got a lot of stuff to cover. A lot of earnings. We're still waiting on the CPI. Hopefully, StreamYard does its thing right now and we don't get knocked off. So let's get it rolling. All right, folks, hello and welcome again. I apologize for the technical difficulty, but it was actually not on our end. That was on StreamYard, which we used to get on here. So glad to be back with you. Good morning. Great to see a whole bunch of returning faces here today. And don't worry. New Cuban, without you guys, I'm going to have to take a break from trading today. No breaks, baby. We out here, and it is time to go. Thinking about it. We mentioned to you, I want my Melvin. Melvin is Thursday this week. He had some traveling conflicts, and we had to move him from Wednesday to Thursday. So just as a quick programming note, we'll get Tim Melvin on tomorrow. I will make sure that you get your dose of Melvin this week. That much I can promise. Okay, let me go ahead and share my screen. Let's dive right in what's going on here. I do have a list of stuff to go through, so we'll do the best that we can here. Here you go. First things first, we're going to take a look at the SPY. We've kind of cooled a little bit here. So we were trading up after the election, and now it's kind of slowed down just a tad. We've actually held the trend line that we've had on this chart for a long time, so that's great. And we're waiting on the CPI print here today, which we get in 17 minutes. That should determine what we're going to do here today. As far as the CPI goes, current expectations for the CPI year over year is 2.6. The core CPI is 3.3. So we'll see what we end up getting when that print is released. But this is kind of where we're at as we await that data drop. So I think one of the things that we should do until we get that CPI is we'll go ahead and take a look at some of the stocks that are moving here, stocks that reported earnings last night and tonight, last night and this morning. And then when the CPI comes out, we'll take a look at that. We'll take a look at how that is affecting the market. And we'll go from there. So first one that I want to start with is, I don't even know if I want to say that this is everyone's favorite, but this one is absolutely wild. We're going to start here with Kava. Oh my goodness. This stock is expensive. Look, I like Mediterranean food as much as the next person, but this does seem a little bit overvalued here. Kava up 15.3%, $22.22. Make a wish on that lucky number. Kava Group shares trading higher after the company reported better than expected Q3 financial results and raised its fiscal year 24 net new restaurant openings outlook and same-store sales growth. So, reported good earnings, and higher we go. Here's the deal. We actually talked about this in happy hour last night. This is a stock that we've been watching and trading for a long time now. It's just totally overvalued here. Forward, if we take a look here in Benzinga Pro Forward PE this morning, 312.5. All right. So that suggests this company is still going to be popular and hot 300 years from now. That's good times there. So anyway, we also got more price target bumps this morning. If you take a look down here, looks like a price target was raised at Barclays, Baird, TD Cowen, Wedbush. So got a number of different price target raises there, and the current price, I believe, is above all of them. No, sorry. Wedbush went to 190. That's the one that we're still under here. So Kava has just been an absolute ripper of a stock. Look at this chart. Look at this chart since IPO. Had a little bit of a pop, tested the bottom end of that, and then this thing is just an absolute ramp. RSI here, 82 today after this. Oh my goodness. If you have Kava, this is definitely a move to be selling into. All right. I'd be curious to know, is anyone looking to trade Kava here? We could take a look inside and see what it's doing. Actually drifted a little bit higher. We'll see if this is the top. We have been talking in happy hour about possibly setting up a short for this. This at some point is going to be the mother of all shorts. Maybe I shouldn't say that. It's going to be a great short at some point, but right now, really hard to just kind of jump in front of that. I definitely want to pay attention to the price action today. If it really seems like it's kind of weakening, maybe start scaling into a short, very small here, but got to be really, really careful. Quality earnings, valuation doesn't really seem to matter on Kava. This is where we're at so far. So just a huge, huge move here. Another stock that we've been talking about recently, as well as the theme, is going to be Rocket Lab. That's ticker RKLB. Rocket Lab up 26+% here today. For those of you that have been trading live with us here, you know all about these space stocks. We've been trading ASTS, Rocket Lab, all of them. And here we go. Rocket Lab shares trading higher after the company reported better than expected Q3 financial results. The company also announced a multi-launch agreement with a confidential commercial satellite constellation operator and was awarded a federal defense contract of up to $8 million. So all good news across the board there. If we flip over to the news tab here and we take a look at the earnings, Rocket Lab top and bottom line beat. Looks like the EPS here was a 10-cent loss versus an 11-cent loss, and the sales were 104.8 million versus 102.2 million. So it was a beat on both those numbers, albeit kind of small. The guide was strong as well, and obviously they announced more launches in November and December as they look to close the year strong. So the contract here with the United States Air Force, and this is kind of a hint that we might see, as a theme, we might see more space activity in 2025. So perhaps we're just at the infancy of this. But man, oh man, Rocket Lab up now 27% here. Also worth noting, this morning looks like we went, Roth MKM went from $7 to $25 on the price target. Wells Fargo went from $5.25 to $13.50. Current stock price is 18.5, so we're above that. So just really, really big move. You could even say that this blasted off here this morning on those earnings. I think we'll probably get a trade here. As far as like this entire theme, this is actually a theme that I'm looking to trade to the long side. I'd love to be able to get in here at what seems like a reasonable price. I'm certainly not going to chase a, vertical green run like this. But if we can get back in here, this theme might be pretty hot for 2025. I know 13 has been big on space. We've been watching a lot of those launches. In fact, I think next week or next Monday, I believe there is a SpaceX launch that goes right after our happy hour. So I think we're going to stick around and watch that. Those are always pretty exciting. So lots of stuff going on here with space. I imagine we are going to be talking about this quite a bit here. We're definitely going to be talking about this one. As far as a trade here today, one of the things that I'd be looking for, maybe we do get a day trade on here. Maybe we kind of break out of this pre-market range. I got $18 on the downside. Looks like we got 20 bucks is where I would kind of look at that on the upside. If we can break out of this area and then maybe retest the boundary of that area, we might have a pretty easy to monitor day trade on our hands here on Rocket Lab. We'll also take a look at some of the other space peers like ASTS and such. So really good stuff here. That is what's going on with Rocket Lab. Let's see, we got 10 minutes until the CPI drops. All right, we'll keep pushing through. Next here is going to be Flutter. This is ticker FLUT. And this is going to be Flutter Entertainment. This is the parent company of FanDuel. All right, so this is in the sports betting theme here. If you take a look at the daily chart, you can see we really just kind of popped off here. 261 as we traded above this area here. Flutter Entertainment shares are trading higher after the company announced it had entered into a non-discretionary agreement with Goldman Sachs to repurchase ordinary shares. So they beat on earnings. If you go into the news feed, you can see that they actually beat on earnings. The one thing here is that just like DraftKings, they warned about future earnings because they had mentioned that bettors were having a really good October when betting the NFL slate. Now, this is very strange to me because the NFL has not gone the way that I thought it was this year. And I have actually personally not done all that great, although I don't bet games outright. I bet pretty much player props. Those have been a little bit more difficult. But on a larger scale here, Flutter, just like DraftKings, warning you that future earnings might be impacted. So as far as a trade here, again, I would if this were me and I had some long-term gains in this, I'd at least book some of them in case the next earnings print is no good. After we see where this kind of comes into, we might actually be able to establish another long position here. Revenue's up 27% year over year, really good. And the average monthly players are up 16% year over year. It also got a bunch of price target hikes today. So it looks like Oppenheimer went to above 300. Susquehanna's at 286 from 273. And JP Morgan Securities went to 299 from 287. So as far as some of the analyst ratings, we actually still have some runway here on Flutter. Again, if you take a look at the chart, it looks awesome. Right, we kind of had this. I don't want to call this a triple top because this one from 2001 was fairly significantly lower, maybe 20 points lower, but we just ended up breaking right out of this area here. So Flutter, this is ripping here. RSI is going to be a little bit higher. There we go. Okay, Tornado, you want to take a look at alt? We will do that here when we have some time. Let me go ahead and add that to my list so that I don't forget. We'll take a look at that here pretty soon. KXIN, that's also going to be one from the movers, Jonathan. I'll add that to my list as well and make sure that we talk about that. Okay, really, really good stuff here. Let me keep rolling through here. 7 minutes until the CPI comes out. Really quick look at the S&P here. It looks like the S&P futures are down about 11. That's represents 0.2%. So basically flat here. It looks like investors wait that CPI print. Okay, let's talk about the next stock here. It's going to be Spotify, ticker SPOT. Love my Spotify. I am a premium member of Spotify, and I have been for years. One of the few subscriptions that I don't even notice that I pay for because it's so inexpensive and provides me so much value and utility. Look at this chart. Look at this chart. Man, oh man, this moved down to 72. Here we are at 455. Oh my God. Spotify has been a great swing long trade here. Spotify technology shares are trading higher after the company reported better than expected Q3 sales results. Also, Phillips Securities raised its price target on the stock from 420 to 485. Current price here is 455. Huge pop, up 8.5%. One of the things that we've been seeing recently are how quickly some of these stocks actually move to the either updated price targets or the new price targets if it's an initiation. And I'll be interested to see if Spotify does that here today. We're actually becoming pretty extended away from that 200-day. Let me ballpark this. At this point, almost 31% higher than the 200-day. I'd really like for this to maybe kind of come back in towards that again. Spotify, another stock that I wouldn't mind taking kind of a swing long on, depending on what's going on. As far as the report, how did they do here? We actually had a mixed report. We missed on the EPS. We beat on the sales. Good news here is that the monthly active users were up 14 million in Q3, so pretty nice there. And the premium subs continue to grow. Like I said, Spotify, I don't even know if it's 11 or 12 bucks. I can't even remember what the price is. It's so low. And I use it in so many applications. To me, of all of the services out there where you can use them for free and then pay to get enhanced functionality, Spotify, without a doubt, the best value for me. And I'm not surprised. It looks like others feel the same way as those premium subs continue to grow. And obviously, analyst ratings are the analysts are rewarding it for that. So Spotify here. I know that we often look at this one. This actually, let me check the option chain here because this has actually been pretty decent for option trading. Might be another one to ask Anne Marie about on Friday. Option chains have some volume, not crazy, but there's definitely some in there. So this actually might be a decent day trade here today as well. We'll see how this shapes up when the regular market opens here today. Okay, 4 minutes. I think I could fit one more in here. Definitely, we're going to do Maple Bear, ticker CART, which is, of course, Instacart. How many of you folks are still ordering Instacart and doing all of that? How many of you folks are doing that? Instacart for me, well, whatever. These deliveries here, kind of a last resort. Anyway, beat on the top and the bottom line, but a weak guide going forward here. So this is actually down 6.5% here. You can see initially they popped on that number because it was a beat, but really kind of traded down. It actually looks a little bit weaker here in the pre-market today as well. Did have some price target re-ratings here. Looks like Oppenheimer went to 60 from 55. So there's some pretty good room to go there. Bank of America went to 51 on their price target. Looks like Needham reiterated a hold. So here we go. Let me know for you folks, how many of you folks actually use Instacart often? I'm trying to think if I know anybody in my real life that uses Instacart very often. If we take a look at the insiders here recently, a lot of these insiders have been selling some of their shares. All right, this has actually been going back to September, October, and the beginning of November here. Had a number of these folks selling shares here. So I don't know. This to me, not necessarily interested in this stock. Again, curious on the group where you think this came back into what 45.30. So we're basically sitting right here at the 20-day. From a trading perspective, the last couple of times that it's come into the 20-day moving average, it's actually provided a pretty decent trade. So despite the bearish view on this, maybe this is kind of setting up for a trade. I'd be curious to know if any of you folks trade this one here today. Grouch of Wall Street, I do pick up no more delivery, too much back and forth and headaches. So I'm with you there too. For me, I like to pick it up for very simple reasons. First of all, I just like saving money. I don't like paying all those delivery fees and the tip on top of it. And then frankly, sometimes it's nice to just get out of the house for 10 to 20 minutes, right? Don't necessarily have to have all that stuff delivered all the time. And Grouch, you're right about the headaches, man. When they screw up some of those orders, especially if it's a grocery store order, it's, like if you Uber Eats something and they give you a chicken sandwich instead of a cheeseburger, you could probably eat it and be happy. But if you're ordering groceries and you need flour and they bring you wheat flour or something else, no good, right? That's not gonna work. So I don't know here. I feel like I'm kind of disconnected from this. I feel like I'm not the target group that would use this service. So I just like to get opinions from others. 3D, you're agreeing with me? I'm with you on that. I'm absolutely with you on that. I used to use it at least twice a week. Russ, didn't that get expensive? Why did and then as like a follow up to that, why did you stop using it at least twice a week? And what did you do instead? Did you just go pick it up? Oh, okay, we are really, really close to the CPI print here. Let's see. Looking at 7 seconds. It looks like. Okay. Let's see what happens here. It looks like the number is out. The SPY is trading up here. Let me actually go to the SPY chart, and I'll go ahead and read you that print. Here is the intraday SPY. It does look like we're trading up here. Giddy up. I did have SPY calls going into today, so that's awesome. Sweet. Let's see here. Let's go back to the looks like here we go. So U.S. CPI year over year for October, 2.26 versus the 2.26 estimate. That is right in line there. The prior read was 2.4. USA CPI month over month for October, 0.3 versus the 0.3 estimate. The prior read was 0.3. That is in line across the board. And the CPI month over month for October, 0.2 versus the 0.2 estimate. The prior read was also 0.2. In line across the board. Market is liking that. We are trading up here, so it doesn't look like the CPI is going to throw water on our party here today, continuing to trade higher here. So again, this is really, really good. I've been kind of going back and forth. I've been waffling, you could say. I have had kind of a bearish view on the market overall, thinking that we really do need to kind of come in at some point. I mean, gravity at some point needs to take over here. But I've been waiting so long, I've actually missed some of these things. So I figured what I'm going to do is if you can't beat them, join them. And I figured I'd take some SPY calls for this print and actually for the rest of the month here, if we continue to get a move into December. The SPY calls that I got are the December expiry and the 6/15 strike. So giddy up. We are popping here. 597 looks like we printed right above 598. We're coming back off of that. Let me know. What do you folks think about this CPI print? Sean Michaels looks excited. Jonathan saying, nice fake numbers, I'm sure, all in line. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, snap. That's not how it works. They have barcodes you have to scan. You know what? You're right about that, but I still know that there are a bunch of people that have got the wrong thing. So maybe it was the wrong thing added to the cart. I don't know. Good point there, though. Okay, CPI numbers up there on the screen. Okay, let me know. Do you guys have any thoughts here on the CPI? Is this going to cause you to trade any differently here today? At this point, I want to see. I know we had like red arrows across the board, just kind of minorly in the pre-market here. They're all green now, so maybe we're going to have a bullish day on our hands. We'll see where we trade here. Okay. More we go up, the more I'm scared. Yeah, that's kind of my thing too. But again, my thought here was if I can just use options to kind of define my risk, then even if I'm wrong on this, it won't be the end of the world. So that's kind of what I'm doing. So far, it's worked. I'm hedged either way, so it works for me. Paul, that's a really smart way to do it. That's a really, really smart way to do it. So, okay, let's see. I'd really like to get over yesterday's high. I'd really like to challenge 600 again. And I do think that is within reach here, being only $2.50 away from 6.5. Okay. Well, CPI print out of the way. That's good. We're also not giving it back right away, which I like to see. Pulling off the top here a little bit, really not bad. This should set up for a pretty bullish day in the market, I would think. We'll see if that turns around. Qs, Dow, and SPY all going higher. I guess we might as well take a look at the IWM here as well. Looks like the IWM is trading higher as well. So, okay, really, really good stuff. Matt Malley has taught me well. Paul, you know what? I'm actually going to screenshot that and send it to him. He'd love to hear that. And that's great. That's great. That's exactly how you want to do this. So really, really good stuff there from our group. Really, really good stuff there from our group. All right. Let's keep rolling through some of the news from this morning, some of the earnings from this morning. And then we're going to do some of the movers when 13 gets here. And then we'll also take stocks that you folks want to take a look at. I've got Alt, KXIN, and RCAT on the list. If there are any others, please let me know. We'll go ahead and get those added as well. All right, next stock that I had on the list here is going to be ticker RKT. That's going to be Rocket Companies. This is, of course, Rocket Mortgage. They reported earnings here. You can see they actually traded down. If we take a look at the daily chart, the sad part here, we lost that 200-day. So Rocket here, top and bottom line miss. Strong Q3 performance, but uncertain near-term outlook with rates. I guess the CPI print maybe helps that here a little bit today. I guess we're up a little bit, but really not a whole lot there, right? Not a whole lot. Okay, you got this one. Mommy, add Blade to the list. BLDE, got it. Save, Jonathan. Save is already on there. We can talk about JetBlue as well. And OSnap wants to take a look at TSM. Got it. We will go ahead and add that as well. So, okay, getting back to Rocket here. Not really a whole lot. I don't have a position on this. This sell-off, I actually think is pretty good. I think that if we expect rates to continue to fall over 2025, I think that should probably juice the homeowners market. So here we go. That should juice the market or the home buying market. So we'll see if that ends up happening. But Rocket, that's what's going on here. We'll take a look. As far as the 200-day here, if over the next several sessions, today's Wednesday, so maybe Thursday, Friday, and Monday, if this stock can reclaim this 200-day, I actually might take a stab at it and see. If it gets rejected at that 200-day and it really can't get above it, we might actually roll back over and see some more downside. So I'm going to keep my eye on Rocket, but no position here. And I'm certainly not in a rush to buy this here today. SPY, by the way, popping even higher now, 598.5 as we test that. CPI looking really good so far. Okay, next one on the list. This is another popular one from our group, ticker SOUN. This is SoundHound AI. They reported earnings here today. SoundHound AI shares trading lower. Company reported Q3 financial results. If we take a look inside here, you can see exactly what happened. This is actually volatile in the after hours yesterday on some pretty significant volume. We drifted lower into the aftermarket close, and we've drifted lower here again today. It's a beat on the top and the bottom line, but it was a small beat. They did have 88% sales growth, which is great. Improved their customer concentration. All of this stuff came from the earnings report. So that they don't rely on their largest customer as much. That's great. That should actually really help some of these earnings prints in case one of those customers goes through a kind of a weak quarter or doesn't live up to what they're purchasing from this company. They won't take as huge of a hit. So good news there. But as we can see recently, this did kind of run into the number. Multiple days where this traded higher here. Really couldn't get to 8, which is a level we definitely need to break for some more upside. So it looks like taking a little bit of a break here as we trade back down to 679. As far as a level on SoundHound, I would be interested to see what happens at 650. We're really not that far away, and we're down over 10% here today. So if we can come in towards 650, think you might bounce there. That is going to be a previous resistance level that should hopefully now turn support. So we'll see here on SoundHound. The other good thing here is we were pretty overcooked on the RSI, and this move down should reset that. That might be decent for a alongside trade too, assuming that this can hold. So, okay, really good stuff there on SoundHound. This has also been a really good day trade stock for us as well. So I'm definitely going to keep this on my watch list here today. It might be one of these where as soon as this thing finds support, we get a really quick bounce. I know there are a number of you folks have been trading some of the bounces here recently. You guys have got some pretty good returns in like a matter of seconds. So we'll see if SoundHound gives us that type of opportunity here today as well. Next on the list, I have Mara. This is going to kind of go with our theme here of the Bitcoin boom, which has really been tremendous. Big stock that I want to talk about a little bit later here, or right after this, is going to be MicroStrategy. We had a pretty awesome conversation about this in happy hour yesterday, and I kind of want to clue you into some of those highlights here. Mara, however, Mara, whatever you call it, tomato, top and bottom line miss. And despite the move in Bitcoin, Mara is getting hit on their EPS. If we take a look here, real quick, looks like the adjusted EPS was a 34-cent loss versus a 26-cent loss estimate. So actually lost more than was estimated there. And the sales was 131 million versus 151 million estimate. So Not great there. I did go through the report a little bit here. Did say that they mined 2,070 Bitcoin in the quarter. That's pretty good, especially given the price of Bitcoin and how that's really kind of traded up here. I do think we're probably going to get a 100K test here in Bitcoin probably before Thanksgiving. I'll tell you what, the Thanksgiving conversations this year at dinner, they're going to be something else. Between the election and Bitcoin making the huge move here, fly on the wall at some of these Thanksgiving dinners would be fun. Let me know if your family discusses Bitcoin at the Thanksgiving table this year. I'd be curious to know. Regardless here, I know this is a stock that we trade pretty often on the show and in relation to Bitcoin. So here's what the intraday chart looks like. Frankly, pretty good job holding 23, right? We moved down here from just over 25. We did a good job holding 23. It looks like we're actually trying to recapture 24, consolidated a little bit there in the after hours yesterday. So we'll see if we can move higher here. Honestly, for a trade here, I would have liked to maybe go long if it breaks this 23.59. It's already done that. So I'll kind of wait this out, see what the opening print brings us. Mara should have some decent volume here today, and this should be on our list for stocks to trade here today. So really good stuff there with Mara. Jonathan, just for some context here, Ryan, the February Bitcoin run lasted about 30 days. This run, what are we saying? The start date here was election day, the November 5th. So we're currently at November 13th here. So if that holds true, if this is the same, we got definitely some more legs on this run. Jonathan, you let me know. You think 100K is on deck here before the year end? You think 100K is on deck before the year end? I think so. So we'll see. All right. Now the other thing that I wanted to mention, and I was really hoping 13 was going to be here for this. We'll ask him to kind of follow up when he does get here. Was going to be MicroStrategy. That's going to be MSTR. This one, you guys have mentioned this quite a bit here recently. This thing's going absolutely vertical right now, just absolutely vertical. Some of the things that we were talking about in happy hour are really kind of intriguing here. So the recent rise in the Bitcoin prices obviously have sent this and other crypto stocks to the moon, as they like to say. Company uses share offerings to finance the purchase of more Bitcoin. So think about that. So when they do an offering and they dilute it, they actually use those proceeds to buy more Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin does what it is here. So, I mean, this stock, frankly, the stock can keep going up, I think. I no position here, and I don't necessarily want to chase moves like this. Stock here was up, it's up 1.6% here in the pre-market. Was up yesterday. It was up really big the day before. Just a huge move here. This, to me, sure looks like this wants to break out of this 369 area and go even higher. So this is going to be one of the levels to watch here today. But nonetheless, using the share offerings to purchase more Bitcoin, a strategy that has paid off handsomely so far. And with Bitcoin expected to go higher over time, this could be one of the strongest Bitcoin pure plays out there. My favorite is Coinbase. Just because I'm familiar with it, I use the product. I feel, maybe this is a misnomer here, but I feel like I understand the business better. It's done a pretty good job giving me some trades around the 200-day. Now, this last pop through the 200-day, it was so violent. It was such a huge gap that I really wasn't in it before that. I would have liked to have maybe been in this a little bit before, but I did end up scalping this a little bit higher. I'm not in it right now. I'd really like for this to kind of come back in. If this comes back to 300 and holds 300, boy, oh boy, I'm absolutely going to try the floating island trade. So if it comes in here to 300, that'll be our buy price. If it holds, target here would be 334, 335. On that short-term trade. So I like MSTR, or I like coin more than MSTR, but honestly, given some of the discussion and what we've done and seeing some of the moves here in MSTR, might be time for me to kind of turn that around and maybe try looking at MSTR. Let's see. What are you folks saying here? Owner sold 40K stock. So are you saying, is that for MSTR or coin? Did I miss that one? Is this what you're referring to? MSTR. Uh, let me know. Let me know which one you're referring to here. I think this is it. SEVP CEO. Holds 10K. We are going to hit 100K before we know it, says Lion. Lion, I'm with you on this. If I'm a betting man, I think the next stop here on Bitcoin is 100K. I don't actively trade this, as I've mentioned a number of times. I just hold some Bitcoin in my portfolio. That is up now, 10x, right? Isn't it? Yeah, 10x from across the 3 coins that I bought years ago. Spent very little money on it. So, okay. Lion said, I'm going to stay Man, I'm sorry. I'm doing my best here, Lion, but I have no idea what you mean. I think what you're saying is that you're going to stay away from Mara, Riot, and Coin. I don't know, man. Help me with that one. I'm not sure. Okay. Okay, so Phillips asking, what are some markets to watch over the next year? I'm looking at nuclear and space, wondering what your thoughts are on these and what others are. I think this is a great discussion topic, Philip. And I think that one of the things that we've been doing is we're trying to figure out what is the next theme. One of those themes that we have been talking about recently on this show and others has been the space theme. We've also talked a little bit about the nuclear theme, although that nuclear, it obviously takes years and years to get those reactors up. So that might be kind of a little bit longer runway. This space theme, they're doing launches right now. And obviously what SpaceX has done here is really kind of helping this entire industry. So I'm with you on this. I think both of those are pretty good themes. I think space is a little bit more right here, right now. I mean, you've seen some of these, like we were just talking about Rocket Lab not long ago, right? Huge earnings, huge move here. We're seeing a lot of these stocks really start to take off. So I'm with you on that. And we're going to keep looking for more themes here too. Remember, you're likely having people position for what they think is going to be a theme in 2025 in the latter part of the year here this year. And in fact, if you want to just dive in a little bit more, if you have a stock that you're sitting on a loss in, but you still like the story, and you sell it to take the loss and I guess use that to kind of on taxes. If you're looking at the wash sale rule here, you really do need to do that here within the next week or two, because if you're going to try to buy that before the turn of the calendar, you need to wait 30 days to get around that wash sale. So we'll see. We might see some more tax loss selling. We might be able to get an indication on what these next themes are going to be going forward here. So, Tiny Pie, you can find space-related names in the peers section in Benzinga Pro under the RKLB ticker. This is exactly what Tiny Pie is talking about. If you click on peers, it'll list a number of other stocks here that have some type of connection to the space theme. So really good stuff there, Tiny Pie, Benzinga Pro, getting it done as always. All right, let me get a thumbs up. We're good. We're going to bring on 13. We're talking about one of your favorite things right now, but I'm going to let you pick and choose what it is you want to talk about. We just had the CPI print. SPY is spiking here. Everything looked to be in line. We also had Philip here asking about possible themes for 2025. He's looking at nuclear and space, which are two themes that we've looked for. How are you doing this morning? What do you want to talk about first, boss?
I am wishing that I would have stopped talking about these space names and started buying them, because that is now 4 this week from my list that are moving. And it's not Rocket Lab that's moving this morning. We talked about another one yesterday. Spire, SPIR. That one's moving as well.
Spire here, 27% here. This one wasn't even on my list. This is a perfect place to go next year, 13. What's going on with Spire?
They're selling their maritime business because they want to focus on space.
Okay. So, Philip, look, man, I think we're definitely on a theme here. I think we are definitely on a theme. I've never traded SPIR before. 13. Is this one that you're familiar? Have you traded this before?
I haven't traded it before, but this is one that's been on my space list. This chat should have it. I posted the list a couple of times this week. I tell you more about this one because I started putting together a whole report on on what the space theme for next year. This was one of them. I believe they're in the satellite space, and I need to double check that because I had a whole list of these that I wanted to deep dive into. And one of the things that I'm finding out about a lot of these space names is that they are very good short squeeze candidates.
Oh yeah, and actually that, I mean, we've seen that on a lot of them. SPIR here, 20 plus days to cover, with 13% of its float shorted. You're right; these things absolutely big short squeezes.
Rocket Lab is another one.
Rocket Lab's even higher, if I'm not mistaken.
The float shorted is higher. The days to cover is not, but still pretty much a candidate. Well, Joey, I haven't set it up yet. I'm still working on it, and apparently I'm looking to be a little late because I started. Sorry, go ahead.
That's okay though. That's okay. And to Joey's question here, I will definitely try to get your report published, get a link, and then we can share it with the group.
Yeah,
we can absolutely do that. So really good stuff there. Crim Biscuit saying that the pre-market is dead so far, hoping for open shakes at the sugar tree. Well, we did have the CPI here today. Should be pretty good. I actually think this might have juiced it. We might actually have a bullish day on our hands. All the indices were moving higher off that CPI. So we'll see.
I saw that the CPI print that we had in the news feed here, the core CPI print was wrong. It's actually 3.3, not 2.6. 2.6 was the headline CPI.
Okay.
Yeah, so both are in line with expectations. Still seeing energy lower. Still seeing all the rate sensitive parts of CPI still going higher, like services. So food away from home still higher. I don't know. I don't quite get that. People still want to eat out despite it being way cheaper just to buy food at a grocery store and cook it at home. I guess that's the effect of buy now, pay later.
You know what's funny about that is that we actually took a look at Instacart earlier here today. They had a beat on the top and the bottom line, but they had a weak guide going forward. So you're talking about, I know that this isn't necessarily, this is ordering from grocery stores and stuff like that. It does seem like even this, they're telling you, oh, we might not have as much profits in the future here. Maybe more people are starting to do that now, 13.
Maybe. Remind me what Maple Bear is. That is a e-commerce?
It's Instacart.
Okay.
Yeah, I you know what? Someone else might know out there. Why do they call it Maple Bear? But this is, as we know it, this is Instacart.
Tony with a question asking, sorry to be a wet blanket, but how do space companies make money? Well, depending on which kind of space company they are, they'll either build satellites. Rocket Lab, for example, very much like SpaceX, sends these vehicles up into space to deploy them. So that's a service that they provide. They have the cost like actually building the rocket and the fuel and compliance for the launch and everything. But that's all passed on to the customer, and then they also pay the company for their service and sending it up into space. And SpaceX has a great amount of business with their rocket reusability. They're focused on bringing their costs down by reusing rockets. That's why we're getting really excited about the Starship.
Yep.
But other companies, some right now some aren't making money. Like for example, Spire that we were talking about, that was still operating at a loss. But I think this is a good thing for them to sell their maritime business and focus on what's going to be hot, which is space. To your point, there are a lot of those companies that do not make money yet. Some are turning it around, some are profitable, but that's what I'm going to have in my report. I'll outline which ones are still operating in the red, and which ones are looking like it's turning around, which ones are operating in the green.
And you also were recently talking about what it looks like, to do some of the other things that some of these other companies are going to do in space, like some of the biotech stuff. But I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it. We'll go through the report really quickly. Tony, you are not a wet blanket here. Questions like this are extremely helpful and going to make the rest of us better. So don't ever worry about that. And certainly don't compare yourself to a wet blanket.
And Fairchild is right. Space biz is about a lot of communications. There's that, and biotech is very, very important too. There's a lot of other research into other technologies as well. The zero gravity environment really helps for research and understanding and how molecules and interactions between different molecules work when they have a zero G environment.
Okay. Here we go. Tiny Pie helping us out here. The company's name is a combination of maple in reference to Canada and bear for the logo on the California state flag. Founder Apurva Mehta grew up in Canada. So there you go. So the founder of Instacart, that's how they got Maple Bear. Tiny Pie, appreciate you looking that up. You learn something every day here. You learn something every day here.
Tiny Pie, big news, big info. Thank you.
Tiny Pie, but big news. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Okay. So AB here is asking, what's your opinion on NVIDIA earnings next week? We can go into that. Let me go ahead and add that to the list of stocks. I do have a list of stocks that the folks wanted to take a look at here. First one that we had here is going to be Save, though. This is one we didn't quite get to in the rundown. Jonathan, I know you were asking about this with JetBlue. What's going on here? Spirit Airlines shares are trading lower after the company filed Form 12B25, citing ongoing debt restructuring talks and delays in its Q3 report. Also, the company expects its Q3 operating margin and adjusted operating margin to drop 12%. This basically possible bankruptcy going on here. I think we've talked about this before, 13. They really needed that. They really needed that JetBlue merger. It ended up not going through. This is the result of it. I will say we've seen bankrupt stocks actually make for day trades. Can't even believe I'm saying that, but we've seen that before. His stock is up off the lows so far. I'm going to pass on this. This is not something that I'm interested at all. But 13, you got any thoughts here on Spirit Airlines, ticker SAVE?
Yeah, so they actually had, and this wasn't going to ever go through, but they actually were negotiating with Frontier on a possible merger, and that ended up falling through. Now they're trying to talk with some of the preferred shareholders to see if they would, maybe negotiate or move around, or maybe even cancel some of the equity they have, so they can work on getting their business back up. But if that falls through, then they're going to have to look at other avenues, like you said, bankruptcy. Mm-hmm. They're probably going to try and sell off some assets to a whole other number of airlines. That whole news with them getting shot at in Haiti wasn't good either. Just no, it
wasn't. Thankfully, everyone was okay with that. But man, oh man, when I heard that report, I was like, oh my God. Yeah.
So this is, I would say that this is probably going to end up just going to zero at some point. I couldn't tell you when. Like you said, there might be some movement here with the different shorts getting squeezed, but I don't know how long that'll last. This is like you said, for me, this is probably be a no touch.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. So there you go, Jonathan. Jonathan also mentioning here JBlue and so JBLU and ULSS trading in sympathy. I don't have ULCC, excuse me. You made a mistake there and then corrected it. ULCC is, of course, Frontier Holdings. Both of these trading a little bit higher on that Save bankruptcy there.
Yeah. So they I guess that's for ULCC, that's kind of like the dodge the bullet kind of thing. They didn't end up acquiring this company or merging with it. So now that's lifting the stock because that's not an added cost to current shareholders.
Okay.
Merging is expensive.
Yep. Stay focused. Good morning. It's great to have you here. Let me know what's on your watch list or what you want to take a look at here today. We'll see what we get rolling. Okay, you want to hit the movers and then we can come back real quick and do the stocks that folks were asking about. I will say, I think some of these are going to be on here. So let's take a look. We actually might be able to kill two birds with one stone here. Let's see. Let me go back to the pre-market here. Okay. And then let's adjust the slider here. Okay. First one here is one of the, whoa, stay focused. We're going to talk about Rivian. we're going to talk about Rivian. Good call. Let me add that to the list just to make sure I don't forget. Okay, first stock here on the movers list is going to be KXIN. This is XIII. I think I'm pronouncing that right. XIII Holdings. XIII Holdings shares are trading higher after the company announced it received a NASDAQ letter indicating it's regained compliance with the minimum bid requirement. For whatever reason, that caused the stock to trade up 100% here in the pre-market. We've moved from just under 3 to just under 6. We actually did print above 6 earlier today. This stock does kind of fit in our theme for those stocks that we've been kind of trading, or the gunslingers have been trading here. Float just under 1 million. An average stock trades about 616,000 shares a day. We're at over 18 million here today. It does have some short interest here, 7.45% of the float shorted, but days to cover, really not a big deal here. 13, what do you think here? KXIN, might this one be on your list for trades here today?
Certainly is. It was at the top, actually. Regaining compliance has been a mover theme that we've been observing almost all year. So yes, regaining compliance. That's mean they did a reverse split, which was a 1 for 60 on October 25th. Company still needs cash, so there is that risk of them making an offering. I haven't done a deep dive to see if they've filed a prospectus or anything like that, so couldn't tell you if that's actually coming or not. But I would imagine, based on their balance sheet and their income statements, that they're going to need to raise it. Like you said, they're under 1 million shares in the float. That's 983 and change thousand shares. And that's basically what I've got on KXIN. As far as levels go, I did have one. It might go as high as 720, but that's like the only clear level I see right now. I can, when we go through some of these other ones, I'll try to mark off some other ones, but 720 would be my first stop there for KXIN.
Okay, that actually would still make a pretty awesome trade if we end up getting that. So let's see. KXIN, there we go. This is definitely on deck here for today. I love the pre-market action. I love how it's really just kind of traded above its VWAP. It actually looks like it's trying to take out 6 to the upside, 530 to the downside. We'll see which one breaks here today on KXIN. Okay,
we're probably set up, or trying to set up to break 630. That was we got as high as 627. I'm sorry, I'm like kind of adding to this now, but I just noticed.
Fine.
So twice already we tried to get up to 630, couldn't quite get up to there. So I would be looking for a breakout over 630 on the next move up here, and that might take us up to that 720 target I have. So we'll see if we get that.
Okay, really good stuff there. Next one here is going to be Kappa, KAPA. This is Kairos Pharma. Looks like we did pop here a little bit in the pre-market. We drifted up in the after hours yesterday. Looks like yesterday morning we got a PR that they're going to present at an event. Looks like in Los Angeles. I don't see any other news here on this one, but it is up 30% here. It does have some short interest, but not really anything. No insider stuff here. Really no cash. It burns just a little bit of cash. Don't have a float reading here. You got anything on this one? KAPA.
I didn't cover this one, but I could go and try and find a float on this. Not really seeing why it's moving either. Let's see the description. Cancer. So, yeah, I don't know why this is moving. I'd have to look into this one some more, but this is not one I covered.
Appreciate it. Tiny Pie out here helping us. We appreciate it. I don't think I'm going to trade Kappa here today, KAPA. Now, Rocket Lab, this is also on the movers list. This is on deck here for today. We've talked about Rocket Lab quite a bit and its earnings earlier. One of the ways that I'm going to look to trade this is just going to kind of be this $2 range here, $18 to $20. Which end of that range will the stock break out of? If it backtests that range, that would be great, and that should give us a nice little entry trigger there. So that's what's going on here with Rocket Lab. Next on the list is going to be FOXO. This has been a recent kind of a junky penny stock that has moved into dollar territory. I would say I'd be careful with this one and generally don't trade Penny stocks will look for some better setups, but this one is above $1 so far here. 105 to the downside. I would call 115 to the upside here, although the stock did trade up to 124. Was this one on your list at all? FOXO? I know we traded this one yesterday, or some of the group traded this one yesterday. Wiz has got this one on watch already.
Definitely getting plenty of eyes on it. I do see how it's extended on the daily chart, and when I look at these daily candles, that's something that I would be very cautious about. As soon as you get that big move initially, and it starts to sell off, that might be it for the day, because that's what I'm getting from these daily candles. It opens, spikes up, and then comes back in and closes, just above the open. So until that changes, that's kind of what we're going to be looking at for the price action today.
Okay.
I think once you get that big rise, whenever it happens, that's probably going to be when you're going to want to be done with it for the day.
Okay. Really good stuff there. Next one on the list is going to be ticker GNS, and this is definitely one that we've traded off the relative volume scanner here before. This actually started to ramp in the afternoon yesterday. For the penny stock players out there, this probably gave you a trade. We went higher in the after hours, and we've bled back some of the gains here today. I'll be honest with you, I'm going to be a little bit skeptical of this one. We'll see what happens if it can get above 140, but I think I've got some better targets on the list here. As far as today, Genus Group said in 6K that U.S. District Court for Southern District of New York issued temporary restraining order on V-stock transfer. Oh, it doesn't sound great here. Yesterday, what moved this here? It looks like they had a Bitcoin first treasury strategy. That might have been what moved it with the whole Bitcoin move there yesterday. Did you cover GNS at all?
No, but this could also be moving on relative volume as well. Yeah. Because there was a lot of it yesterday. I think this one. Did you say you were going to kind of either avoid this one or just maybe just watch and see what it does?
Yeah, I mean, I've identified the 140 level, but I just think that there are better targets for us to go after here. By the way, Big Bees knew someone that went all in on GNS and lost everything. Be careful. This is a wild one. Appreciate you sharing some of your experience out there, Big Bees. Just be careful. You're going to trade some of these gunslinger stocks. Be careful. Okay, let me keep moving here. The next one here. Oh, look at this. This is one of our big winners from yesterday. And guess what? It might be back here today. First things first. Yes, this could absolutely trade on relative volume given the day it had yesterday. Went from what? $4 in the pre-market to a high of 17, which was called out by 13. Pretty amazing stuff here. This morning, we actually moved through the VWAP. We do have the volume increasing here, and we're basically at the top end of the afternoon consolidation area. So we'll see here if BTCT gives us an opportunity to trade. Do you have anything on this one, 13?
No, but we already know what this one is and what it does. Yeah. I think we should keep this one on our radar, as well as those other BC or BTC, and then insert extra letter here, names that were also moving when this was halted. Wasn't that like BTCS
and BTCM?
Okay, so I would say watch keep all three of those on watch. So
did you save one share of BTCT? Yes, but that was for the halt. That wasn't for overnight. I have no position going in today, not even the one measly share that I saved after the halt yesterday. 13, I think I ran you over there. What was that?
No, it was just something regarding watching all three of those BTC names. But I don't remember what the point was. Anyway, just watch all three. If the point was if one of them halts, like BTCT should, at some point now, when we are open in the regular session, these other ones could start moving. So that's why I'm saying keep an eye on all three.
Okay. All right. Just a couple of more here that I want to hit. And one of them is actually one of the stocks that folks wanted to take a look at. So really good stuff. OKLO. This is one that we've been trading a lot here recently. Shout out to all of the gains that this stock has made our group. OKLO shares are trading higher after the company announced it secured a partnership for up to 750 milliwatts of low carbon power for U.S. data centers and advanced its total clean energy pipeline to 2,100 milliwatts. Nice little pop here on volume. You can see we're actually approaching a trend line. What trend line is that, you ask? That is the one that we have put on here from all of these spikes. every time Oklo has traded up to this trend line, there maybe it's popped above, but it's been very, very brief and it's kind of come back in. This is what we're watching. The other thing on the daily chart here to keep in mind, look how this volume is now compressing. We're on the back side of the expansion. Please, please, please don't get caught in something like that. Just know what it is that you're trading here. OKLO 13. Did you have anything on OKLO for a possible trade plan here today? This one to me, again, very, very easy. What happens if it breaks down from 25 or breaks out from 26? That's what we're going to try, or that's what I'm going to try and trade here.
I think this looks like a really good bull pennant in the pre-market. So what I would be watching for is for that pattern to resolve by breaking out over that trend line. But I think we're going to run into resistance at 28. If you look at the last 2 times it's broken out, we've gone up to just over 28 both times. That's where I would look for the resistance. Now, there's a possibility that we also break out of the 28 handle, but we'll when we get to that bridge, we'll see how we're going to cross it.
And if we do that, and then we maybe even back test one of those levels or the trend line, that might actually give us a setup as well. So, okay, really good stuff there on OKLO. BTM, this is another one. I don't really think that there's necessarily anything to cover here, sorry, but BTM, Bitcoin Depot, this is likely going to move with some of those Bitcoin names. We just talked about BTCT and looking at some other Bitcoin names. BTM, another one to add to your list.
Okay.
What's that?
The float, 10 million? Okay, so yeah, that'll be easy to move around.
Sweet. Okay. Next here is going to be Rivian. Stay focused. You wanted to take a look at Rivian. This actually kind of makes me laugh. Rivian Automotive shares are trading higher after the company announced a joint venture launch with Volkswagen for a total deal size of worth up to $5.8 billion. Doesn't that sound familiar, 13?
That's old news.
That's what I said.
We know that.
That's what I said. What's that?
I said we know that.
Yeah, so that's what the news is here today.
Well,
Stock's up 9%. Here's what I'll say though: does the company still lose $1 billion a quarter? The answer is yes. So for me, nothing has really changed here. Maybe we will get some scalps here, or maybe we will have a shorter term trade here. But for a long term trade, this will tell you all you need to know. Let me go to the daily chart here. This is when we got that news about Volkswagen the last time. It was just about the same price. This ran to above 18, and in short order, it gave everything back here. So I guess let's just recycle some of that news. Let's see if it's different this time around.
Well, it will be because there's more shorts in it now. So they squoze. They have 18.8% of the float shorted and 5.74 days to cover. That's the highest days to cover, looking back, ever.
So, Izzy, you're saying they added more money here. Wasn't the initial one $5 billion and now it's $5.8 billion? I mean, it is what it is. To me, this is not getting me excited to swing Rivian.
Maybe they adjusted it for inflation.
Here we go. Reported earlier, Rivian seeing federal loan. No, that's the federal loan. I'm trying to find the old print here so we can compare it.
I was also looking at Dave this morning. So while you're looking at that, I can talk a little bit about Dave. Dave Incorporated. That reminds me of that movie, Dave. Anyway, this one's moving higher because they had Q3 earnings and they were better than expected. They also raised their guidance. So that's also helping it lift here. Now, in addition to that, we have a 24.2% of the float shorted, 5 days to cover. That makes it a short squeeze candidate, and that is what's happening. So good earnings, good good short squeeze, so that we're getting that. As far as financials go, this company is profitable. They have millions on the balance sheet. I don't think they're in any need to do an offering. So this one could end up being really good. It's got a float of 7.69 million shares. So kind of checking all the boxes, and seems to be a little bit safer than some of these other ones that need to raise cash. Not suggesting you hold these for a long period of time. These are still day trades.
So basically, you're saying I can't do that, Dave.
I can't do that, Dave.
There you go. It's 2001 Space Odyssey. Also,
Yep.
Fairchild here. Dave's not home. Little Cheech and Chong in there, Fairchild. Little Cheech and Chong right there, maybe. Anyway, we'll have fun with this ticker here. There you go on Dave. Still up 27.5% here. Yeah.
We might want to kind of just go back and look at BTCT. Thanks, Crow, for mentioning it. It's over $15 now.
Okay.
It's going to go back to 17.
Thank you. It's actually going to test that intraday high from yesterday. Glad we covered this a little bit earlier. Said that some of these are going to run. Gave you a plan here. We just printed 17s there on BTCT.
Awesome.
I'll tell you what, the Bitcoin boom, it's here, and we're taking advantage of it. We'll see what else we have here. Okay.
While you do that, I'm gonna look at. Jesus, it's over 20. I'm gonna look and see.
Remember, no halts in the pre-market, folks. No halts.
Right. This is going to probably sell off at the open, so just kind of keep that in mind. But I'm going to look and see what other targets we can find for this that are beyond 20. While you do your thing there.
Okay. Announces agreement with Rect Technologies and Asia Investment Fund to host 1,100 Bitcoin mining machines in the U.S., expanding its presence in the cryptocurrency mining industry. Shares are trading higher after that. This is the news here from 9 o'clock.
Rect is what the shorts are right now.
Yeah, you got that one. You got that right. Okay. So ALT, RCAT, BLD, and TSM. Let's start rolling through those. We're going to do ALT right now. This is going to be Alt Immune. It's had a big day yesterday, and it actually looks like it's trying to pop off the intraday high from yesterday here. I can't remember who asked about this one earlier today. 32% of the float shorted, definitely going to be a squeeze candidate here. Days to cover of 13. So look out here on that. Take a look here at the insider transactions. These are just kind of options and grants. Nothing really stands out here. Financials still losing 18 million a quarter here. It does have 57 million on the balance sheet, so maybe not. Maybe won't need a raise right away, but that's what's going on here with Alt Immune. It looks like they reported earnings here yesterday morning. Tuesday morning, UBS, $26 price target. Stock's currently $10. Maybe we break out here on Altimmune, ticker ALT. Altimmune shares, this is from yesterday, are trading higher after they reported better than expected Q3 financial results, also UBS initiated. So just it moved yesterday on earnings and the UBS initiation, and today we're kind of holding here. What we want to see is, do we get any continuation? We will definitely have this on relative volume scanners given the move it had yesterday, but do we really kind of break out from this $10 level and get some more continuation here to the upside? That's going to be the question on Altimmune. If we do get that, I probably have the next target here just shy of 11. I guess we could call it 11, but it looks pretty clean up to 11 there if we're able to break 10.
As far as BTCT goes, if we're going to probably trade sideways or and lower until the open. But if we do turn back around and break this pre-market high of 2079, I'd be looking at 2350.
Okay. 2350, your next upside target there, BTCT. Thanks for grabbing those crazy levels here while we're doing it. Getting us prepared. Getting us prepared. Okay. RCAT was also mentioned earlier. I think it was thinking about it. I know, Carmen, this is a stock that you've been holding for a long time. It's actually had a really good move recently. Did we have any news here on RCAT? Is there anything else new going on? Doesn't really look like it.
I have a thought on why RCAT's moving.
Okay.
There was a massive drone attack conducted by Ukraine on Moscow. I want to say it was yesterday. So I think some of the drone plays may be moving in sympathy with that, because every time that I see headlines about drones, I keep thinking about RCAT. I think about it was AVAV, is that the one?
Yeah, AVAV is the best in breed. That hasn't moved. That was down a little bit yesterday. It has really no pre-market activity here today.
Really? It says that it's up almost 8%.
I don't see any prints here in the pre-market. Let's go ahead and take a look at AVAV. It might just be thin. That's all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, see, to me, says it's up 0.86% here today. Oh. Maybe there was a print in the one of the extended sessions that gave that reading. But yeah, this basically just looks flat here to me.
That's strange because it says okay. Well, anyway, um, yeah. So I think that's the whole thought there is I think because of the headline, the drone attack, that it's gonna move with that news because I didn't see anything else. So I was trying to find something to latch on the movement to, but that's all I could come up with.
Okay. You think this has more room to run here?
Which one? AB? AB?
No, RCAT. Excuse me, RCAT.
Oh, let's see here. This looks like it's trying to break out of that the middle of October highs. Let's see, that was yesterday, so we already closed above that. So we're still in the middle of the breakout.
Yeah, so we're still at 409. It looks like 423 is a little bit of a spot there, maybe even $5 if we can get up there on RCAT. Good morning, Seahorse Trading. Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, that was RCAT. Carmen, do you have any, what's your time horizon for this? Or do you have any targets on this? You might have told us, and I apologize for not being able to remember, but let me know. Let me know. Okay, next one here on the list was going to be BLDE. I think this was from Izzy, if I'm not mistaken. This is Blade Air Mobility. This has to do with the move that we've seen recently in ACHR. This is part of the eVTOL space here. Looks like this had kind of a rough day yesterday. So what's going on here, Izzy? What did you want to take a look at? It looks like, okay, so they reported earnings here this morning. There you go. Beat on the top and the bottom line there. EPS 3-cent loss versus a 4-cent loss estimate, so pretty good. And then the sales here, very, very slight beat, pretty much in line. Fiscal year 25 passenger revenues 85 to 95 million. And they see fiscal year 24 revenue 240 to 250 million versus the 247. So it looks like that is in line as well. So it looks like earnings here a beat, not really crazy. Stock up 2.7%. That's what's going on here in BLDE. And then the other thing I wanted to check here was Archer up here today. Indeed. So let me just really quickly take a look here at Archer and Joby while we're at it. Looks like Archer up 3% here in the pre-market. We'll see if that can break over yesterday's intraday high. And then Joby as well. Joby actually down a little bit in the pre, basically flat though.
As far as RCAT goes, just wanted to look at a longer time frame. Looks like we're about to get a golden cross on the weekly chart, so that's a good long-term catalyst there. And I also see that 425 is a potential breakout spot. You draw a horizontal line across there. Look at a weekly chart. You can see what where I'm getting those highs from. We had it September 2021. That was the high that day on the 27th. Also earlier in 2019 and 2018, we also had resistance and support from that area as well. So 425 looks like a breakout spot. Okay.
Really good stuff here. Izzy saying Kathy bought BLD. I didn't see that, but good stuff there. Okay, let's see. Let me catch up with all the other comments here. Carmen, RCAT, I'm holding for the long term. I have some shares I swing, and I will sell on a run of DOD SRRPR. Okay, there you go. Appreciate that. RCAT may take some profits when it hits 100. Carmen waiting for the huge bag there. Sydney saying 5 on RCAT. Want to be tough like Carmen. Look, Sydney, if you want to be tough like Carmen, boy, you better increase that price target a little bit there. Carmen's waiting for 100 prints on that. You're going to be out long before that happens there. Okay, we will get TSM is next here. OSNAP will do that, and then NVIDIA, and then we can add Palantir to that. And let me actually go ahead and add that to my list so I don't forget here. Stay focused. Ryan, Elon, and Vivek, more clarity on their government slashing positions. Good stuff. Cut the fat. I'm with you. This was there are some big appointments being made yesterday. Of all of them, this one probably the most exciting for me. I'm going to be optimistic, and I'm going to wait and see how this plays out here. Good stuff, though. Okay, let me keep moving here. TSM was going to be the next one. I'm actually going to go back to my bigger chart instead of this movers chart here.
We're starting to get that movement out of TCT. Let's see 2350.
Okay. We'll go back to that. We'll have plenty of time here, but I did want to take a look at TSM. TSM really just kind of flat here. We're beneath the 20-day moving average here. does kind of look like maybe this is going to be weighted down. We'll see how tech trades today, especially after that CPI print here. SPY still holding a little bit higher, although it did back off the 599 highs that it put in.
Yeah, you have the 50-day SMA at 184 and 83 cents. So let's call it 185. I would say that if we lose 185, we don't want to see multiple closes beneath it. That could be bearish. Definitely don't want to see multiple closes below that. NVIDIA here having a pretty decent pre-market, so we'll see if TSM can turn around. This actually just went green here in the pre-market. This looking pretty good. I'm sorry, stay focused. My man, we talked about SPIR yesterday. This is one of the ones on the list, on my space theme list.
And we just talked about it this morning, although I think he was here for that.
Yeah, I think he was. But yeah, have we ever traded before? No, I haven't. It's just on my list because it's one of those space plays that I'm going to be looking at and doing a write-up on.
And really quickly here with NVIDIA all-time highs 149.77. We're currently at 149.53, so we are pennies away from all-time highs here on NVIDIA. I'll tell you what, just kind of looking at the way the things are now, let's see how the opening print goes, but this sure looks like this is going to be a bullish day for some of these chip names in the market in general. NVIDIA looking like it's getting ready to set some new all-time highs here when the market opens. That would be exciting. And then Crow also mentioning DXYZ. That's going to be that futures 100 with all of the stuff and with all of the space stuff really kind of moving bonkers right now. Remember, they own some SpaceX in that ETF that could move here. We'll check in on that one throughout the day, Crow. No question about it. No question about it.
BTCT hit 23. So 50 cents short of where I was looking for, but it doesn't look like it's quite finished yet. Might be, it might pull pretty hard out of the open since it had this run, but if it holds VWAP, it could still push right back up.
Apparently, we're getting reports here that 13 has a 400 IQ. That is something else. You'll be the first person that I've met with a 400 IQ. But there you go. Anthony. But, you're helping Anthony make some money, so you know what that means.
There you go.
We're going to ring that register, baby. Really good stuff there, Anthony. Glad you are making some bank. Okay, last one here was going to be Palantir, and I guess we could take a look at Tesla as well. Palantir just continuing to rip. Maybe we kind of figured, or maybe we're kind of at the high, just judging by these recent candles, but nope, higher here today, plus 3% here today, 61.67. Tell you what, this had a lot of kind of communal trades in this show here. Palantir, one of the best of 2024. Just the sheer amount of people that were trading this and holding this, and the absolute bonkers move from the high 20s up here to 60. We had Anne Marie giving out free trade ideas on this with very clearly defined risk using a butterfly. Pretty much all those upside calls ended up working here. Palantir, this has just been an amazing trade. At this point, though, when are we going to come back in? The 200-day moving average is 29.02. The current price is 61.56. That is insane. Insane. The 200-day moving average is nearly 53% away from where the price is right now.
I would love to, live a long time so that in 144 years I can see what, Palantir finally coming into its valuation.
How about Kava? Can you live 350 years and check out that one, because that thing is ridiculous. Each store would need to make like $15 million per quarter. I think it makes like 3. Just some of these valuations, man. I tell you what, they don't matter until they do, and hopefully we're around when they matter again, because we've been kind of waiting some of this stuff out for a while. So Palantir here, we'll see what this does here today. It is higher in the pre-market. That actually might be from the CPI. Yeah, it looks like this popped with the rest of the market when we got that CPI print here today. So I would imagine this is going to kind of trade with this. It did go right to that 62, which was the intraday high area from Monday.
Yeah, the market is taking this as the honeymoon's not over yet.
I would say so. Look at this. Look at this chart. That is, oh man, that makes me feel good. Awesome. Okay, let's see. Bitcoin is choppy. Yeah, Bitcoin is raging right now. Okay, last one here. Lion Atlas was requesting Tesla. It's going to, of course, ticker TLSA, one of our favorite stocks here. Tesla 335 here this morning, almost 336. Really the 360 area. I think at some point we're going to break out from this 360 area. Maybe that'll be here in short order. If we take a look inside, you can see Tesla really kind of just popped a little bit here this morning, did pop on the CPI, although it gave some of that back. If we break out of 340 here, I think you might have some upside momentum. If we continue to break down maybe 330-ish, maybe we'll have some downside momentum here for a day trade.
Let me give you some levels on Tesla. I was just looking at
we're about to open.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll go quick. Tesla looks like it's trying to bull flag. So I would think that this tries to trade back up and gets over 345. That'd be my level, 345 in Tesla.
Okay.
And here we go.
And we're open.
Okay, BTCT, what you gonna do?
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put the BTCT chart up, call it live 13, but I'm going to try and force myself into some discipline. I'll be right back here. 1 second.
Okay. Well, right out of the gate there, we have it pushed up to 2420, and it looks like it's going to halt. So there's that. We're off to that kind of day. What else do we have moving here? Looks like OKLO trying to move up as well. This one's bull flagging. Looks like 2625 is the level to get over. We hit that twice in the pre-market. So if we trade up to that level, I would expect a breakout from that particular spot there. Kappa looks like it dropped and reversed. Trying to hold VWAP right now. KXIN, that one's lower out of the open. GNS, that's trying to push itself away from VWAP to the upside. So we'll see if that's what happens here. Pre-market high in GNS is 182. So looks like we're about to get going here. A little more volume expansion, and we could get to the 162 high from this candle that we put in at 805. Bitcoin and BTC SNT.
Hey, I'm back, and I've brought a friend.
Oh, nice.
Yep, Kitty Overlord here on the back of the chair. Okay.
So BTCS also going with BTCT. Yeah, because like I said, BTCT, once this halts, you're going to want to look at those other ones. Well, it halted, and now BTCS is moving. What's BTCM doing? Is it doing the same thing? A little bit. Yesterday's high was 427. Not as much movement out as this one as BTCS. I bet huge for you guys.
We're going to get some wild stuff here today, aren't we? We're going to get some wild stuff here today.
Yes, we are.
Rivian, stay focused. You were asking about this. Looks like the first move here in Rivian is good. That is continuing to trade higher here. Be curious to see if this can break out. It's still going. 1219 looks to be the pre-market high there on Rivian.
Yeah, and Tesla's moving its way up to that 345 level. And, we could go higher than that. That's just the next level that I have here. The high from this week on Monday could certainly be in play. I don't know about today, but maybe later this week. And that was 358.64.
Yep, right there. Tesla ripping out of the gate here. SPIR on the relative volume scanner here. That was a little bit of a dip right out of the open, but just reclaimed VWAP. KXIN from our list here, right at VWAP as well.
OKLO, this one's going down.
KXIN is not halted. Crimp Biscuit. Which one was going down? 13, sorry?
That was OKLO.
OKLO. Okay, that's pulling back a little bit. That was right at that trend line, remember, we were looking at?
Yep. KXIN still trying to push up higher. Looks like the next spot is 6 for that one.
Rocket Lab approaching 20 here.
That's wild.
Kava looks like it printed 170 and backed off a little bit there on Kava.
Jesus. Getting a mention on LAC moving. Says Izzy. That must mean that ALB is probably doing good too. Yep, that one's up.
ALB, wasn't that down like 7% yesterday?
Yeah,
it was. Look at that. Look at this. We already right back. That's unreal.
Yep, I think lithium plays are starting to come back because lithium prices appear to be bottoming. So if you have growth expectations, I think holding stuff for a year or more is probably what you're gonna want to do if you're gonna do those lithium plays.
Yorkie asking, are we going to hit 100K today on Bitcoin? Currently, Bitcoin futures chart 91,500. Look, I'm not going to never say never. I mean, maybe we will. Maybe we will. What a rip in Bitcoin. I tell you what, that'd be good for some of our other Bitcoin plays if we get that today. That's for sure. GNS, we talked about this one, maybe that 140 being a level. Looks like it just tested it there, GNS.
Yeah, BCTM not doing as good as some of the other ones. BTCS that pulled back after hitting 450. Just waiting for BTCT to open. If Bitcoin continues to rise when it opens, I expect it to pop a little bit more. But if we start pulling back underneath 90K, it might sell off. Here we go. It's open now. And it's got as high as 25, it looks like. And it looks like it started selling off, and now we're halted to the downside.
Halted to the downside. Oh, man. You know what? I'm going to be okay. Just kind of, I'm just going to watch this one today. I don't need to get myself all worked up in some stock that's just halting all over the place. Grats, if you hit that one from the pre-market, that looks like that's where the move was. Rocket Lab here just crossed 20, looking like it's going for those pre-market highs. RKLB. Spotify right back to its VWAP here.
Yeah, so looking for that breakout of 2050 for Rocket Lab, since we were getting the pre-market highs of 2046 and 2041. JetBlue flagging.
Spotify really kind of flirting with its VWAP here. It's trying to go higher. We'll see if it can get to 460 here on Spotify.
Not really seeing a flag in JetBlue. It's just running. And maybe it's a smaller time frame you're looking at. On a 1 minute, I can see that it looks like it's kind of. I mean, I don't like the way that flag looks. It's you want to see more pullback to the downside before the bull flag resolves. This is the kind that will try to keep pushing up and then fail and sell off. Rocket Lab pulling back a little bit. What's up?
RKL, but that's what I was asking here. Rivian continuing to go here, so that Rivian move continuing. Altimmune getting mentioned here by Izzy. This above yesterday's intraday high. Looks like 1050 the next spot here on Alt.
And Rocket Lab right up to the pre-market high, and a little bit of pullback here. Waiting, there's a huge wall at 2050. If we take that out, I don't know how high we're going because I didn't do any measurements. Let's see if I can find it before it happens. It's going to happen, I think. That wall's going to get chewed right up, and there it goes. There it goes.
Rocket Lab through. Really good stuff here. Boy, we got some early momentum here. Bitcoin, by the way, still holding that 91,000 area, at least on the futures chart.
Yeah, the spot price is getting closer to 90. It almost hit 91, but now it's dropping back down. As far as Rocket Lab goes, 2134 is the next spot that I see. That was from September of 2021. Be looking at that price there.
Kava looks like it dipped out of the open, returned towards that 170 level on Kava. No short there yet. Spotify, here we go. Come on, get up to that 460 area. There we go, Spotify. There we go, Spotify. Let's see if we can cross above 460. 460 prints there. Awesome. Awesome.
Rocket Lab still pushing up almost to 21. 2134. That's what we're looking for. And then we'll probably either trim or exit.
Okay, I'm not in Rocket Lab. I did just take just take some Spotify off there as we move through 460. See if that resets. And another level here on Spotify, 465. If that continues, we'll see. Hut, this is another Bitcoin name. This is moving here with Bitcoin.
ALB over 110 now.
Wow. So that had a huge move down yesterday, right back to even here today. Just completely deleted the down move yesterday.
Yep.
We'll have to ask Sultan if he was adding to that. I know he really liked this name.
Yes, and yeah. He was asking me about when I was picking this up too, if I was adding. And unfortunately, when it had a drop before it popped over 100, it didn't fill my order. It didn't come close enough. It was close, but not close enough. Wish I had filled that order, but I only have 2 eyes.
That's how it goes. 13. Rivian, it looks like it stopped at 1250 here and is flagging on Rivian. Yes. Stay focused. Let me know if you were trading this one here today. I opted to go with Spotify out of the open. I wanted to wait a little bit. Then I ended up going with Spotify for a little bit there. Let me know if you're trading Rivian here. 1250 break to the upside might send this.
So didn't quite get to 21 on Rocket Lab. 2094 is the high, pulling back now.
Andrew, good morning. Guess what? I don't take attendance, so no big deal. We're just happy to have you here. By the way, CTRA, this is Tim Melvin pick from recently. This actually trading a little bit higher here as well. Block continuing to trade higher after those positive earnings. Remember, it also got a price target of 83. It's now ripping.
And what's BTCT doing? Still suspended.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm pretty sure that one's still halted. Tell you what, I'm not, when you're not in it, you don't really, just open it, whatever, it doesn't really matter. Don't really feel all that bad about it.
SPY kind of giving back all that movement it had from the CPI print. It's given about half of it back. JetBlue hitting this one looks like it's flagging now.
Take a look at that.
We got more of that pullback we're looking for, and I'm looking at a 5-minute. So if it can hold VWAP, or at the very least, I'd say 690, there's a shot that this could turn around and try to push up higher than that 710. But that might take anywhere between 5 to 15, 20 minutes.
Jerry saying, anyone else having troubles today on Robinhood? I haven't seen any reports of that. I'm not having any trouble with my broker at all. I will say, 13, you weren't around for this. StreamYard had trouble today. I could not get into the studio and could not start the show on time. I was late. I felt really bad about that, but it was not our fault here. So, sometimes those things have problems. I haven't noticed any brokers having issues today, though.
Yeah, I saw that message in the Slack.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, so Bitcoin now over 91,000 again.
Save up to 140. This actually trying to bounce here. Again, I'm going to stay away from the bankruptcy play, but that's moving. LAC getting called by Lion Atlas now. Izzy rejoices. LAC right up here to yesterday's intraday high. Can we break that? 445. What did we have previously? Yeah, it's this. I knew it. It was this 450 area. We really need to break this out to return to 5 and above there. Thank you, producer. There are more reports of the Hood app not working. So, Jerry, that does not look to be specific to you, which is great.
Yet Hood is still up, so maybe there's a shortcoming. And that's 2 separate words, by the way.
KXIN here beneath its VWAP. It's actually trying to go for that here. KXIN.
LAC has more room. Yeah, I think so. And here's what I'm looking at with LAC, because I have a bunch of levels on this one to the upside. The big thing that I'm looking for with this one is the gap fill. It started to happen back in the end of October. Didn't really get very far into that gap fill. And that gap fill is back from April. You have the 17th and 18th of April that formed a gap. And that gap begins, well, it's already started filling, but from the October high, that was 520. So from 520 to 653. There's the remainder of the gap to be filled with, and I think there'll probably be some consolidation at the 6 level before it fills it.
Okay. Good stuff, 13. KXIN here. Nice little curl back to the VWAP 527. Let's see if we can go through that VWAP there.
Don't like the way that's been getting rejected. Hopefully this pushes through and doesn't reject again.
KXIN out on that little move there. Boom, boom, boom.
Nice.
BTCS trading up here.
570 is the intra session high for KXIN. If it pushes through that, then we have the 627 pre-market high to look forward to.
Rocket Lab continuing to trade up here. Stay focused saying yes. Traded Rivian and Rocket Lab. Stay focused. That is awesome. You were on Rivian right from the pre-market here. Look at this move. Way to go. Stay focused. He's always doing a good job staying focused too. So no surprise.
And XTT getting mentioned here by our chat.
Okay.
Had a pop up to 314. Came back in trying to find some support. Maybe this starts flagging.
Okay.
All right. Now it looks like Hood is starting to get weak on those reports of problems with the platform. Had a little bit of a pull back to VWAP, and it's contesting with trying to stay above VWAP, but I think it's starting to lose it.
See what happens when it gets to VWAP here. Kava still looking at that 170 level. SSYS, what a dog this thing was. I don't have this anymore, but looks like we finally had some good earnings here. Back to double digits. Rocket Lab still
trying to get
holding above its pre-market high. Exactly. Trying to go above 21.
Mm-hmm.
I think the easy trade, the easy meat on the bone is probably done here in Rocket Lab.
Oh, yeah. That was probably from last night.
Yeah. Or just today. It was, again, that move through the VWAP in the pre-market really kind of set this thing up. It actually back tested that VWAP when the market opened. Red Master is asking, when will I be able to sell my SMCI puts? LOL. Is it halted or something? Why can't you sell them?
Oh, this thing was knocking on the door of 20.
Yeah, sure was. Maybe he's waiting for the next break lower here. I mean, you might get that today, frankly.
Mm-hmm. I like this. That's good.
I have to just because our user Fart here is saying Rocket Lab has mad gas. Oh man. Hopefully you folks laughed with me on that. Dave here. I can't do that, Dave. It's trying to go for 90.
I'm sorry, Dave.
We're good. Let's just keep quoting Hal 9000 here all day long. That'd be awesome. BTCT is open and down and rehalted.
And Rocket is about to break 21.
That's Rocket Lab.
Yeah, Rocket Lab. Sorry.
Okay, because Rocket, but the only reason I bring that up, 13, is because Rocket actually reported earnings here today and is down 12.5% on those earnings. And this was trying to trade back up in the pre-market. Looks like we're revisiting some of those lows. After hours low from yesterday, 13.13.
Yeah, the whole move in this thing when I was on this one in United Wholesale, that's over.
Yeah,
that was over like around the 20s. They actually double topped at 21, 35, 38, something like that. So, yeah, this is going to come back in, probably find some more support around 12. JTAI halted up. Remember that ex-girlfriend?
I do. That was one of those names there. We'll take a look at that. Jet AI 712. Okay, so that's a decent pop there.
Soundhound reportedly getting crushed here. I don't really see that as getting crushed, but it's certainly down off its highs. This thing got really extended, I think, this past week. So seeing it come back in a little bit is not unsurprising.
Kappa here, maybe on a curl. Lion Atlas saying, what do you expect, Ryan? His name is Stay Focused. Yeah, I expect him to live up to his billing and keep handing out bangers to the group here. Dude is on it every single day. Lion Atlas, that happened several minutes ago. You might need to make sure your stream is live and up to date, because we might not be there. BTCS getting a mention here by Crow. That's returning back to the highs. BTCS.
As far as Soundhound goes, there's one thing that I do see here. If it can recapture and hold 650, which is currently above right now, but if it can hold that, we could still see it turn around in the coming days. But this thing did need to cool off. It was very extended.
Smoke Tuna mentioning BTM as this just recrosses the VWAP there. Stay focused. Our guy here mentioning Lunar. So that space theme certainly on deck here today. Watch for Lunar on a break of 1140 here. Actually, I might trade that one if we get that. 1145 is your day high. 1140 looks to be the area that was trying to get over here on Lunar.
Yeah, let me pull Lunar up here.
Lunar's pulling back off that spot here. VWAP at 1111 on Lunar if it continues to pull.
This has been okay. So it went right up to the pre-market high, Lunar.
Yep.
This is 1140 has been a pretty rough level for this one this week. Or I'm sorry, this pre-market. This is I like the way this daily looks.
I like this pullback taking us, get us closer to the VWAP here, boss. Pull again, get us to the VWAP, man. I actually might try this for a trade here. I do see a little bit on the bid there, 1120 on Lunar.
If Lunar comes in, there's support at 11 and 1075.
Okay. And actually it bounced from 1060. That was the low point of the pull. And it looks like the bottom of those body candles is exactly 1075. SPY did move down here. Is he mentioning inflation comments? Fed's Logan says US, is this it? 950? Yeah. Fed's Logan says U.S. central bank most likely will need to be more interest rate cuts, but should proceed cautiously. Models show that Fed funds rate could be very close to neutral rate. If Fed cuts too far past neutral level, inflation could reaccelerate. This is something that we have been talking about since they started talking about these cuts. We really do not want inflation to become entrenched. That would be awful. Looks like Fed's Logan here on the horn. Really good shout there, Izzy. Really good shout there. And if you want to get those comments when they happen here in Benzinga Pro, use SPY there. Thank you for throwing that up on the shy run. That's awesome. That is awesome. SPY coming in off that, by the way, 596.
We'll still likely cut next month.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think that's what we're going to do. All right, let me go back to the day trading scanner here.
No problem.
Palantir also had news. I know we talked about this earlier. I didn't cover it. Palantir had news here, a contract with Rio Tinto. So Palantir just continuing to rip to the upside here. Just continuing to rip to the upside. Just awesome, awesome stuff.
Yeah, Rocket Lab starting to get some support from 21. Let's see if it holds. Might pull back a little bit more than that, but we still have a VWAP.
Bitcoin, by the way, across 92,000 now. The Bitcoin boom is real, folks. Bitcoin boom is real. Canaan, this is ticker CAN. We talked about this one recently. This ramping here today looks like a $2 test is coming here. BTCS. Who's surprised to see BTCT and BTCS at the top of the relative volume scanner here today? Oh my. What was the other one? BTCM?
Yeah.
Let me just check on that and see where we're at. That's still up 12.5% here too. Wow.
Amazon up, Google down. I think Amazon had some pretty interesting news. They were trying to go the route of doing chips on their own and becoming less reliant on NVIDIA.
And that was a Financial Times article. I think I posted that yesterday somewhere. That was a fascinating article. I wonder what that means in the long run for NVIDIA.
Yeah, well, we get their earnings pretty soon, so we'll find out what they have to say in their conference call.
Yep.
Likely they'll pump it some more.
Stay focused mentioning save. This did come back into the VWAP there and bounced a little bit. Stay focused. I'm going to try and stay away from this one here. But that did come in here a little bit and bounced.
Speaking of bounce, and thank you for that, EuroT Kid, BTCT did open come down to the 15 EMA on the 5-minute chart and reverse, and it is now halted above VWAP. JTAI also halted.
BTCS ripping to the highs here. So to your call earlier about checking it out when BTCT halts, BTCS, this actually did a push up towards 550. It's pulling off that spot now, but it did get that push in pretty short order there.
I'm glad we identified that yesterday because it's absolutely working today.
Lion Atlas is making a call. We will see 95K on Bitcoin, Ryan, by the end of today. Okay.
And then Big B is saying the cybersecurity sector is on fire. We also talked about looking for cybersecurity stocks that specialize in satellite security. So if there's any of those big names that take part in that, I think that'd be interesting. Going to look for some smaller names too. As we get, I mean, we're very, very reliant. This whole world is very reliant on satellite systems. So if there's an attack on those, it could cripple economies, even bring them to their knees. So need some security there as well. And they're easily hackable too. Some of these satellite networks can be pretty easily hacked. Rocket Lab lost 21. Looks like it's starting to roll over and might come back in a little bit. Also saying the Crow is watching MBST. That's Microvast. This one looks like it's trying to pop over the 62 cent level, 62.5 cent level. But it's actually drifting back towards VWAP at the moment.
Sorry, just taking care of some stuff there. Okay.
No worries.
Kappa getting called here. That was one that we were taking a look at earlier.
maybe they're
up there.
Ooh, thank you, Big B's. I appreciate that.
Yeah, PanW is my favorite cybersecurity stock. I've made good money off this.
He's referring to the satellite security.
Yeah, they're the lead. I mean, to me, that wouldn't be surprising that they would be tapped for that, being the leader in cybersecurity. But
because if that's the case, I may end up adding them to that space watch list.
Yeah, it's on mine.
Okay.
ASTS here, this up 12%. This starting to rocket. Another that space theme, man. That's it.
Space theme, man. I am telling you.
13. Remind me, when is that next SpaceX launch? It's on a day after.
Monday.
That's Monday, right? That's this upcoming Monday.
It's Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern.
So that is going to be Monday 11/18 at 5 p.m. Eastern. Weather permitting, obviously.
Weather permitting, they've already got clearance to launch from the FAA. They got their NOTAMs out and their Not Mars out. NXTT, by the way, pushing higher. And I think that they're pretty much good to go for the launches. There's nothing that's really hanging them up right now. Just the actual date. So that's we're gonna have our happy hour, and then they're gonna launch hopefully on time. And it's going to be very much the same as the flight test 5. They're going to try and catch the booster again. They're going to have the Starship land in the Indian Ocean, but this will be daylight, so we can see more of this stuff. We're not going to see Block 2, which is the next version of Starship, until 2025, and it's going to be early 2025, and that'll be likely the next flight test, and that'll be the block where they use the new Raptor version 3 engines. And also, they're going to use that version of Starship to do the all-important orbital refueling. Once we get past that milestone, private space exploration the door is completely wide open at that point.
That should be exciting. I'm excited. I'm excited for that launch there, honestly. Big B saying we're about to sweep the 830 data candle. Possibly to continue lower here on the SPY. So let me show you what Big B's is talking about. So here we go. So here's that 830 candle from the data. It looked like we were about to completely retrace. The SPY is bouncing here. What I would like to see here is a reclaim of that 597.22, which is your VWAP level, and then maybe a move back towards 598. Ultimately, for more upside here, a 600 test is what I'd be hoping for the most, or what I'd be looking for the most, excuse me.
Great mention, Yorkie Lab, on KXIN popping. That actually broke over that pre-market high we were looking at of 630. Got as high as 648, coming back in a little bit. Good mention.
Already hit that one once here today.
Yep. Webcoin saying that he thinks that JTAI looks like it's going to 11 easy. He already took half of it off. Well done on your gains.
Yeah, really good stuff there. In fact, we'll give you a register ring there. That was a great pop. Someone else called that right into the halt too. I was a little late. It was DC Net 59. DC's all over that.
Wow, what a great move.
I mean, this has been kind of a great week, hasn't it? I know we didn't have Melvin this morning. We're going to get him tomorrow, but this has really been a good week. In our community here, I feel like you guys are all banking. Like, I feel like no one's really having trouble.
Oh, gosh, I saw that mentioned on Dogecoin. So the highs for Dogecoin, and this isn't something that I trade, but I'll speak on it from a technical standpoint. The high from in Dogecoin is 64 cents. That's from May 8th, 2021. Keep in mind that when we had that move all the way up there, this was because we had folks at home getting stimulus in front of the computers on stay-at-home orders. Lots of opportunity for this crypto to move. Lots of liquidity from the stimulus. Could possibly get back up to that high, but I don't know if it's going to end up going to $1. Could be wrong about that, but the way this works, my understanding is that this is a constant diluting machine. So it's not something I'd want to own.
Doge getting a recent move here just because the Department of Government Efficiency are the letters in Doge. That's what's going on here. Here is your Doge chart. We'll come back and check in on this. I'm going to go back to my main workspace here. Actually, I'm going to take a quick check on the market overall. It's kind of mixed. Do see a little bit more green, especially there in the SPY.
SMCI said that they are unable to file their quarterly report. So that's 2. Remember that whole preliminary one? Oh, we'll get to it and we'll file it. That's not happening.
Is SMCI reacting to that? Are we trading lower here?
It's close. It went higher.
Remind me, who was that? That was looking for sub 20 prints. You might get that. Martin, what did I miss? Boy, you missed a pretty busy morning here. We've done a lot of talking about the space theme, which really seems to be blasting off right now. We've had some kind of small movers here. Thanks for joining us here today. It's good to see you.
Yeah, I don't know what we're going to end up with SMCI, because this is just. To me, this looks like a squeeze. This news isn't great. I think this is going much lower. But here we are with traders coming in and trying to push out the shorts, because this thing is heavily shorted at this point. Yeah, Red Master. It has to be a squeeze. That's not good news. No reason to buy it, but because of how bearish folks are on this, that really does create a good short squeeze opportunity. And I think that's what we're seeing with this upside movement, because there's no good reason to own a company that's not filing now 2 quarters worth of earning reports.
Yeah. KXIN, this might not be done here today. We'll see. No position here in KXIN, but we'll watch that. Rocket Lab looks like it's trying to reclaim the VWAP here. Good morning, Jay Rice. It's great to see you again as well.
BTIS, blood in the streets.
JTAI opened and higher it goes. It's going to halt here again. Oh my. Halt fast in JTAI.
Time to find levels with this one. If this is going to be our silly mover today, then I'm going to have to find some levels for us to play. Okay. Let's see if it can get to 11:30. And if it can do that, then the next one I'll be looking for is 13.
Instacart new lows. Save still under that 140.
Yeah, I actually feel pretty confident about that. If
Archer really pulling back here today.
It had a good run, so it needs to cool off. Yeah, but JTAI, I think that if we do get over that 11:30, we're probably likely going to hit 13.
Jay Rice is asking, you guys pay attention to The Godfather? Amazing call on Dave. We've actually been taking a look at Dave. We've been having a lot of fun quoting Cheech and Chong and 2001: A Space Odyssey as well, Jay. So we've been having a lot of fun here with ticker Dave this morning. This is a huge move here, 46.5%. I don't know who the Godfather. I don't know who you're referring to, but you know what? Doesn't even matter. We're gonna give him a register ring because that call on Dave was juicy AF.
And they're getting price targets coming out. So there's another reason for this to move up higher. This could end up pushing more. You have Lake Street raising it from their price target from 53 to 87. B. Riley, we already know about that company, raising theirs from 63 to 103. So it's possible. Look, we've seen these price targets come out, and a good number of these companies end up going to that price target that day. That's not normal market behavior, but this is something that we're seeing. So it's possible that we end up seeing it with something that's been moving like this, that has a low float because it's at, it's less than 8 million shares. So possible high of the day in Dave at 103.
I just saw a caravan of fire trucks enter my what?
Jay Rice. That's the movie I was talking about earlier. The one with Sigourney Weaver and Kevin Kline, right? The one where he played the president after the president fell ill or something, right? That's the one you're talking about. I thought that movie was hilarious. S&P 500.
Yeah, I was gonna say market pulling back here. So I had thinking maybe we had a bullish day earlier today. Not so much. Market really pulling back here.
Jet Boy, the things about altcoin is that we really don't cover them, man.
Yeah,
they're doing. I know that a lot of these cryptos are doing really well, but unfortunately, I don't pay attention enough to them to give you an opinion. So I'm sorry, man. Preparing to touch the third rail, BTCT. Oh Lord.
This coming back into VWAP.
Okay. Well, then, for me, it's been trying to get back over VWAP, and VWAP's been rejecting it. This thing, it looks like it's going to actually come back down to reality. That was fun, though. That was fun to see it go again.
Sure was.
Oh, wow. OKLO gave everything back from the move this morning.
Altimmune, this actually went above the intraday high and continues to grind higher here. Here is your OKLO chart. Easy for me to say. Market really pulling everything at the lows here. Just falling apart.
Carmen asking about what y'all think about Exxon CEO saying that we have plenty of oil production in the U.S. and no need for more. Impact of exuberance on those stocks. I think that's kind of the Exxon CEO saying, okay, if we keep drilling, we're going to have a supply glut, and the stocks are going to go down, and oil is going to get even cheaper. So let's not do that, so that we can have more profits. That's the read I would get out of that. But you tell me.
Shorts are setting up, says stay focused. Here we go. Big pull on the SPY there. Big pull on the SPY.
And just be careful that we don't get, this dip bot. It could happen. That could happen too.
Tesla moving to lows. More pull on the SPY here. 595. This is about to break.
Where did Tesla go to? What are the highs in Tesla? What did it run to? Did it go to 345? Did it go to 345?
It did.
Oh, right.
344. Excuse me, not 345.
Oh, I was just short. Okay, well. 345 is what I was looking for. Didn't quite get there. I'm sorry, folks. Hopefully you can settle for being short $1.
You need to tighten that up there just a little bit.
I need to tighten that shit up.
Man, a lot of stuff pulling back here, though. A lot of stuff pulling back here. VIX spiking here, too. 1481. This is going to 15, it looks like.
What was the VIX this morning? Did we print underneath 1446?
No, 1446 is your low print of the morning.
You're kidding me. Is it really?
Yes, VIX 1446 low print.
Okay.
Why?
I don't remember if it was yesterday or the day before, but I was talking about the VIX in happy hour chat, and I was pointing out that since the yen carry trade happened, that unwind happened on August 5th, the low print that we've had, which I think was on August 19th, was 1446. We had not seen that print since then. So today, you're telling me we hit that. That's the first time we hit that, and now we're turning around. Well, when we hit that 1446 back in August, we also rallied in the VIX too. So that's why I was kind of surprised that the exact number, like the 0.0 decimal number, actually was the spot for the VIX to reverse. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to be where the market really starts to sell off. I just thought it was really interesting, and that's it goes to show why some of these previous levels really do matter. 1446 had not been seen since August 19th. We hit it today, and the VIX rips.
So SPY pulled all the way down to this 595. It's bounced so far, but that might be that might just be a temporary bounce. Just passing through, mentioning that Klarna files an IPO, so it looks like the buy now pay later is still rolling here. Affirmed has had Affirmed, this actually turned around. This was higher in the pre-market here, and then of course the buy now pay later giant Sezzle, just a monster home run here from Tim Melvin. This did come off its high a little bit. We'll see where Sezzle goes, but looks like all of that is pretty good. Daniel, 3 of 4 trades in the green.
Nice.
Bring that register, baby. Day is done. Love it. Love what you're doing here.
Biggie B's had a question about levels for SPY to the downside. So we've already lost one. That was 596 and 65 cents. That was a previous all-time high that was put in on November 7th. Beneath that, I just have a couple of trend lines that it has to go through next. It's actually bouncing off of one of them. These are a couple of trend lines that I was, for a top and bottom trend that eventually is going to come into a rising wedge. So we're getting support from the top of that right now. But if we lose it and start to fall through both those trend lines, the next support level that I have is 591 and 93 cents, which was the high that was put in on November 6th.
Okay.
And I'm glad to hear it, Daniel, that you're done for the day, because it looked like the market's starting to get weak. Maybe that's a good time to go and find something else to do. Congratulations on your trade. You did awesome.
Yeah, that's really good stuff there. SPY bouncing here. We'll see if this can reclaim VWAP. MicroStrategy, a little bit of a dip after that pop there. That just reclaimed VWAP. MSTR.
All right. Looks like Rocket Lab is trying to get some support just underneath the $20 level. It looks like it wants to try and recapture VWAP, and if it does that, it'll be over 2025. But still looking like it could roll over. Need to see that recapture VWAP. BTCS, this is having a hard time recapturing VWAP, at least the one I have. I have it at 430. We can't close above there. Looks like this one's also going to go down. MACD also showing that it could curl over.
I'm just running through a bunch of these here, seeing if I see any setups here off the scanner. SPIR, maybe if it can get back through VWAP. KXIN, maybe if it taps VWAP. MVST, this is a penny stock continuing to push the highs here.
Yeah, they had earnings, so they're pushing up on that. That's the news on that one. I think somebody was asking about that. Parker Thinkorswim asking me thoughts on WT from the weekly chart. Let me take a look. Wisdom Tree, I think I did look at this, and I'm sorry I didn't get back to you on that. From the weekly chart, yeah, it does look like it's trying to break out of this 1202 high that it put in on the week of July 29th. What's it moving on right now? It looks like it's flat.
Yeah, it does look flat. I don't see any new news here today.
So it looks like the only news that it has here is that a director, the CEO, picked up a whole bunch of shares yesterday. And I don't see any news from today, so maybe relative volume at that point. I also see that there has a good amount of short interest, 19, almost 20% of the float shorted with 12.76 days to cover. So there's a good candidate here for a short squeeze, but I think it's going to need a little bit more news than just the CEO buying stock, even though that's a good sign. What their financials look like.
Tuna calling KXIN here. I'm watching this one too, Tuna. I think that here we go. VWAP test coming right now. Do we hold this? We're holding it so far.
But yeah, as far as Wisdom Tree goes, looks like it's a healthy company. Has revenue and net income. Balance sheet looks good. I don't know what this company does. Capital markets. I'd have to look more into that, but from what I can tell, it looks all right. If you're looking for a target on this one, let me see if I can find one for you here. Well, if it breaks out at 12, looks like there is a good amount of resistance between 13 and 1350. I'm not exactly sure what we're looking for in this one. It really did come off the bottom at the turn of the. Actually, wow, this the pandemic marked the low. That's interesting, and it looks like it could still continue to go higher. I don't know how high it goes. Like I said, I don't know enough about the company, but it looks like 12 is the breakout spot for that one.
Is that Wisdom Tree?
Yes.
Okay. Rocket Lab right here at its VWAP just crossed it.
Back over 20, trying to push over the VWAP.
I was going to say, let's see if Rocket Lab has some more juice here.
Volume's a little bit lower than it was before, so going to need to see that expand to get through some of these levels.
They do have bids on. There's a nice little pop.
There we are.
Rocket Lab.
Yep, that's trying to get through VWAP right now.
Yep. I had that moving through VWAP, so okay, cool. This little scalp there on Rocket Lab. That actually might keep going. I'm just trying to chip away here. So that SPY on that bounce looks like it got back up to about VWAP and kind of stalled there. 596 on the SPY. Look like
Lunar,
it's rolling back over.
Lunar is trading up to the big level that has been trying to get over all morning, 1140. We've got some pops from as early as pre-market and regular session trying to get over there, seeing it pop over it but not closing. So if we can get a close over 1140, this might go higher. You can see that 1145, between 1140 and 1145, that has been the big resistance area all morning for Lunar.
Okay, KXIN. By the way, we just got that little bounce off the VWAP. Let's see if this can continue here. KXIN. GNS, boy, that just broke down. BTCM, that's lower here.
BTCT breaking down finally.
INOD pulling back here.
That thing was wild.
Yeah, it was. Dave might be going higher here.
Okay, sorry. I'm looking to see what the market's doing.
Oh, sorry for yawning.
All right. MVST not slowing down. Parker Stiglitz also mentioning Geo.
That's that prison stock. Kava, by the way, finally pulling back a little bit here on Kava. Zone getting called by Smoked Tuna. I like this tuna on Zone. Good mention here. Looking like we're trying to take out those pre-market highs on Zone.
Yeah, it's going to take out the pre-market zone.
Well, I'm all for that. I'm all for that. Decent spread here, though. 13-cent spread there on Zone.
NVIDIA YU. What's going on with NVIDIA? Are they really hurting this morning? Come off its high, pulled back about $2.
That 149.60 double top area there for NVIDIA.
Okay, here we go with Lunar approaching that 1140 level. There's a big wall there, so could see some volatility if we break through that.
I'll bring Lunar on screen here.
around, seeing if we can find some more things getting ready to go.
Nice job, Bigabees, on those Z-scaler calls here. Really, really good stuff there. You were mentioning that. Nice little move here for Z-scaler.
Rocket Lab still going. That break over VWAP was pretty good.
NXTT resumed and is trying to bounce.
Here we go with Lunar. Just keep an eye on this. Man, they're bringing a lot more orders into this thing. They are really trying to keep it from breaking out of 1140.
Yeah, I see that big size there, 1140. There's also some there at 1137. They actually just walked it down a penny as well.
Yep. They are trying hard.
They're trying to push it down, 13. You're right on that. KXIN back at the VWAP. Maybe this bounces again. I'm going to keep watching Lunar there. The battle there looks fun.
All right. It took out one of those walls.
Yep.
Who is they? We're talking about traders.
Yeah.
Bears and bulls.
They just kind of the royal they, right? The unnamed group of people that look like that are kind of doing this. Here we go. Lunar just took that big spot there, 13. Next one that I have here is going to be at 1150.
Okay. It's got to still
1145, your intraday high. We're testing it right now. Sorry for running you over.
Yeah. No, you got it. That was what I was about to say. Oh, yes, look at that go.
There we go. There we go. Bang, bang. Another one. Another little scalp there. Tell you what, we've been doing well here today.
Mm-hmm.
Been doing well here. I'll take it.
This Lunar's going now. Watch this thing go to 12.
I'm out of it. Don't go to 12. Sold into that pop right there.
Rocket Lab also going again to intraday high. In Rocket Lab, we saw it earlier, 2144. Parker Singer's one SPI. Anybody remembers?
Yeah, I just pulled it up there. I did.
This an ex-girlfriend?
I think wasn't this one that just absolutely went bananas? Here. Yeah, right here. It was Friday. No, that's back in COVID. There was another one. This might have been it. No.
SPI.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think I do remember this. I maybe I'm mixing this up with something else. I'm gonna bail.
It was a penny stock, probably all the time we were trading it. This year, the pops that it's had were in May and September and October. One of those months might have been it. I mean, it did have a pretty good move. Going from 29 cents up to 61 cents. That's a pretty large move. It's like a 200% move. Oklo.
It did bounce off that pre-market level. It's trying to go back to the VWAP. Can't quite get there yet. Kava continue to break down. I'm going to be upset if I miss. Yeah, it's holding here. I want to short this, but I feel like I'm going to do it at the wrong time. Rocket Lab, to your point, we might take out 21.
Oh, God, that would be wild.
Brian's mentioning KXIN off the VWAP. Yes, Brian. Yes. This is actually getting more of a bounce than the last time. There we go. Good stuff there, KXIN. This has actually been a pretty decent trade here today. Hit this twice so far today.
Got a lot of great movers this morning.
Yeah, we do. We really do. Five-year continuing to pull, too. Markets continue to come in a little bit.
Yeah, probably because we're getting a lot of unwinding from all the big names that all the concentrations are in.
Yeah.
That's the expectation. So let's take a look at the watch list for the Mag 7 and see how they're doing.
Okay.
I know that Tesla was down. I don't know how much. Guess what? The only one that's green is Amazon.
So Netflix isn't on that list. That's green here today too.
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and we've talked about how the Mag 7 needs to kind of expand to maybe the Mag 10. So if you do that, then you also include Netflix, Berkshire Hathaway, and one other one, maybe Broadcom. But anyway, so when it comes to just the Mag 7, yeah, they're all, well, no, Tesla just briefly turned green. So we'll see if that holds. Rocket Lab, here comes, it's over 21. Good Lord.
Hey, does Costco on the 1 hour kind of look like a bull flag to you? I got it on screen here. Here's your flagpole, and here's kind of your flag. Does that kind of look like a bull flag to you?
Do a larger time frame so it tightens it up, and you can. I think that'll.
Here's your 4 hour.
Yes, so that looks much better.
Yeah. So I'm kind of thinking bull flag here, Costco.
Possibly, and I think that with how we're going to see some unwinding in tech, like Ja is saying, could be rotating into some of the other names, some of the consumer defensive names. Food security. I think that's still becoming a big issue. So could see more positivity out of Costco, other food producers like
Walmart.
Well, those are the ones that sell it. But I'm talking about like Tyson and Cargill and things that companies like that. I don't necessarily know about the snack companies like Mondelez or General Mills, but Pepsi, Coke. I mean, a lot of those names could still do well.
Stay focused. Take care of yourself. Good luck at the meeting. Really good stuff here today. Very, very efficient, very, very tactical, and reminding us all to stay focused throughout the course of the day. Rocket Lab could go to 23, leaving us with a parting gift. What a gentleman. That's what we do around here. That's what we do around here. I hope it hits that too.
Yeah. Thank you, Ray. I love your gifts. All right, SMCI still refusing to come out with a report. Refusing is probably a better word than what they have. They can't. They I think the jig will be up.
Give me 1 second.
Sure, no problem. I really do think that SMCI had some really big export control violations, and it could be very bad for them if that gets found out. That's kind of what I'm going with right now. Might be something else, but we'll have to wait and see whenever they actually file a report or have an auditor that's able to hang around long enough. Okay, so lots of market weakness here. All the things that were running earlier this week and last week, they're all getting hammered. What else are we looking at? Nice grow. KXIN could bounce at the 65 EMA. We're looking at here. What time frame? If that's what you're looking at.
All right. I'm sorry about that. 13.
No worries. KXIN. Let's see here. So if you're looking at if Market Sniper, are you referring to the 65 EMA on the 5 minute? Because that would put it at about 465. And that's actually pretty close to where it bottomed when it opened. That bottoming was 462. So if that's your 3 minute, okay, let me take a look at the 3 minute.
I've got the 5 minute with the 65 EMA here on the screen for the visual aid.
Oh, okay. So I see that right there. So we're about to touch it. Gotcha. Okay. All right, back to that. Oh, zone. Now, speaking of the 65 EMA, zone knifed down to the 65 EMA, and then the very next candle rallied back up to where it was after hitting the 65 EMA.
MVST halted. That's your penny stock that has now entered dollar territory on MVST. Not in this, just calling it out from the chat.
Yeah, and Webcoin was some pretty good mention there. Don't chase this one. Look at how extended that is. That's a recipe for disaster. Trying to chase this one. Let it open and see what it does first. Jay Summers, that's killer. That's killer. 100% gain loss ratio for the day.
So you haven't lost, is what that means,
lost.
Right?
No loss. Such a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Rocket Lab still finding some resistance up there. Nvidia hanging in here. How's Lunar doing? Lunar just going.
I know there's a to the moon joke in there.
Yeah, there is. I could have just added to the moon to what I was saying, and I'd have been fine.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, but we got that break of 1140, and still looking for 12.
A Bitcoin here, 92,500. This is still trying to push higher here on Bitcoin.
How are banks doing today?
Goldman Sachs a little bit higher here. Let me check in on JPM. That's higher, 1.3%.
Yeah.
Higher, but, somewhat muted.
Gosh, can you imagine if, by the way, Lunar just almost did 12.
So blasted off to the moon again?
Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's going to, reverse at 12 or break through, but so if it breaks through, I have 1265 as my next target. Otherwise, back down to 1140 if we reverse.
GME curling up here, $27. Actually, looks like that might be trying to take out yesterday's intraday high again.
Fine Atlas, where you at? Your LAC found it. Man, that was
LAC.
Awesome.
That's Izzy.
It was. Oh, I thought
Izzy mentions LAC every day.
Both of them then, because I'm pretty sure I've seen Line Atlas mentioning that as well. He's been picking up LAC and PLL. LAC, by the way, that one had a knife down to the almost touched the 65 EMA on the 5-minute. There was that demand zone from pre-market just before the open, and that's where the demand zone actually just picked up that weakness, turned it around, and now we're breaking out over VWAP again. LAC has a intraday high of 443, not too far away. That would be the breakout spot.
Lunar here right above 12. That was a really good push there if you caught that on Lunar. Lion Atlas, I'm not giving up. I want to see 95K. Well, you better hit that buy button then, buddy, because wishing it's not going to do a whole lot here. Although here, let me go back. I got a crypto chart set up so we can do this more often. We'll go ahead and check in on some of these crypto prices. Here is your BTC price, your spot price too. This isn't the futures one. I quote 92K. You're not far away, Lion, from your 95K target. I mean, I think that's totally doable here today.
Yeah, why not why not 100K by the end of the week? Why not?
Oh, by the way, that VIX that you were talking about, that crazy VIX level that you were mentioning earlier, that 1446. So we did kind of curl up there. We're slammed right back down here, 1451. So if we come into 1446 again, we'll see what the VIX does at that point.
Yep. That'd be interesting to see what happens then. Lunar over 12 was just over briefly a moment ago. That was fun. Looks like some of these names like Geo, that one's turning around, going down. Jet AI, congratulations on everybody that traded it and exited around the 10 handle. That thing's now down to 8.
Smoke Tuna saying KXIN is done here. Time to leave the boat. Kava.
Yeah.
Kava's bouncing a little bit after its sell-off here.
That looks like it's bear flagging.
Okay.
BITO. Oh, I'm sure that one's having a good week. 2484 was the high it just hit. MACD looks like it's starting to roll over a little bit. Watch for VWAP to lose support. Currently have VWAP at 2460.
Alt going higher here. So you know what, Izzy? I blame myself for this. You were really good shouts. You guys were all ready for alt. 1050 was the spot. We broke it on volume with a power candle. The volume has continued to expand here. This actually is a really, really good trade. I've hit a number of trades here today. 6 scalps here today, and I'm 5 of 6 on those scalps. So pretty decent. I did miss alt here. This one of the better ones. So really good stuff there. MVST is open. That's that penny stock to $1 stock, flagging right here at $1, trying to hold on to it.
Yeah, alt had some pretty good news this week and earnings. And on top of that, it's a very, very solid short squeeze play. 32.36% of the float shorted, 13 days to cover. This is a great pick. And I saw that you were mentioning this earlier. I mean, there was just so many things to look at. I'm sorry we didn't get to it, but this was a good one this morning too.
Poly Confluent, that's CFLT. This is not a stock that I'm familiar with, but you're right. This is popping. It's having a pretty good day. What's going on with this? Up almost 6%. News here yesterday in the after hours that it's going to present at an upcoming conference. One of those conferences. Looks like they start November 19th.
I don't really see why Clean Spark is going down. Opposite the rest of the crypto names. I'd have to look and see if they're that. The reason I was halted with sorting out the warrants issue. I'd have to see if that's adversely affecting the company in some way, because I didn't read into that, so I don't know exactly why it's going down. But since we know that it's going down, let's look at for some levels here. And we can find out where it's going to get some support. Well, I do like the 200-day SMA.
13, really quickly, that 1446 level snapped. 1442 with 1440 being the low point on the VIX. So we did bounce off of it the first time we printed it, but now we've snapped it to the downside.
Okay, thank you for that update.
You got it.
And then so CLSK, if we do continue to go down, I'd be looking for support at the 200-day SMA, which is at 1455. Lunar looks like we're going to take the next leg up in this one just a bit here. Getting support at 12. Need a little bit more expanding volume, and if we get that, we're likely pushing up to 1265.
That's Lunar. Let me bring that up here real quick.
All right. Well, a lot of these names really starting to leak now.
Well, I got lucky with Spotify earlier. That really pulled, and it just got back to its VWAP. I'm going to watch this again and see if we can cross through the VWAP there.
Seriously. I think you also got super lucky with NXTT, because I think as soon as you sold, it pulled.
NXTT, I don't think I traded that one here today.
Oh, I thought you did.
No, there was here. I can tell you actually. Just spot KXIN twice, Rocket Lab and Lunar. So no NXTT for me today, but there were multiple people in the chat shouting that out, 13, and I did bring it up. I did put it on screen a few times. Trade that one myself though.
Big wall in Lunar just got eaten alive, and now we're going higher. Oh man,
big bees. Maybe done for the day. Watch for the big pull. Good luck, man. SPY trying to push higher here. That would be awesome.
I hope you put your feet up, man. You killed it this morning.
Yeah, he does. You're big bees. You've been active every day here, and it really seems like you're printing on a regular basis. Love that you're part of this community, man. Good stuff.
What was Line Atlas saying about SMCI?
I don't remember what he was saying, but I think it's pretty much junk. I know there are a number of people waiting for sub 20 prints on this.
Mm-hmm.
I think Russ, you have puts on this, right?
ASIP. Excuse me. I also mentioned to Smoke Tuna. Yeah. Airship. And it's got AI in the ticker.
Archer, what a bummer on the pullback here. See if it holds.
Oh, it had a great run. It
was Red Master. It was Red Master waiting for that. Sorry.
Okay.
I mixed it up. That's my own fault.
No worries. Archer did have a really good run, and it got up to 485 in the pre-market.
Yeah.
That was actually the about the high of the day yesterday. So 485, 46, that is a resistance level in the short term. If it starts trading back up there, I'd be looking for that. We do need to get back above 460 though.
HIMS continuing to be strong here, popping.
Rocket Lab still trying to decide what it wants to do. It looks like and Lunar's trying to decide if it's going to go higher over 12 or not.
Look at Cloudflare. Big B's mentioned this earlier with the cybersecurity names. Cloudflare up 7.5% here. Big move here on Cloudflare.
Yeah,
Mike,
absolutely.
good morning. Good to see you.
Yep. 100%, Mike. D-list candidate. You don't report 2 quarters. You start not keeping up with your compliance. We're going to kick you out.
And rightfully so, frankly.
Yeah. But, if they can raise enough money to give to, or if they can take a lot of money that they have and give it to the NASDAQ and say, just let us stay on here a little bit longer. That's another thing that can happen.
NASDAQ can just kind of look the other way a little bit.
Oh, yeah. They've done it many, many times before. That's why we have so many of these junky names.
Yep.
Well done on your LAC, Izzy. Rocket Lab unsure of direction. I think. We could get some pullback here after it had a huge run after hours. But going into 2025, I think Rocket Lab and a lot of other space stocks are going to end up doing well. So hope to see if we end up getting that.
David Marcus Aurelius. All right. Thanks for being a member. Let us know if you need to break down any chart for you here. Appreciate your support.
Airship going higher.
Good morning, Amanda. Good to see you. Here is your airship, by the way.
Oh, wow. Michael Storm mentioning BTCT falling hard. It is certainly off the high of the day.
Yeah, it broke that VWAP too. That one's going to be done here for today.
Let's see here. So it lost that yesterday's high support, even though it kind of got a little bit of that before the breakdown. Next support area is going to be about 14. I'm just throwing these levels out. I know some people like to trade these bounces, but just be careful with this one. This is we do think this is pretty much done for now. Do you have the same shirt? This one, Red Faction. This is like an old video game, and I got a whole bunch of these shirts. They're pretty comfortable from one of the vendors who had a whole bunch of them long time ago. Hims is hot. Yep. Certainly is. Rocket Lab still trading down a little bit. Might just be getting ready for the next move, but we'll see. We'll see. Still above VWAP for me. But MACD looks like it's indicating some downside, so be careful.
JetBlue at the highs. Watch for a 740 break.
Big B's, this is good. It's a no-go to trade stocks that are going to be delisted. It's the market that determines the price, and you can get stuck trying to trade a delisted entity. Good luck, man. That's great.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right. Rocket Lab getting a little bit of a lift. See if it accelerates to the upside. And don't feel like if you've got some gains today and you're happy with that, don't feel like you've got to trade anything else. This is your day. You can consider over. Go outside. Go have a good time. Be happy that you absolutely killed it this morning and your account's green on the day. Don't ruin that, especially as we get into the lunch hour. That's when people.
That's when you can give some of those gains back. That's a really good mention. 13.
What do I make of Foxo popping every morning for the last few days? That can happen with some stocks that when traders find something that's running, like a multi-day runner, they just latch onto that and keep pushing it up. Eventually, this is going to be something that comes in. Actually, that day's today. It's down 12.5% right now. But you can see that this is one of those momentum plays, in my opinion. I don't remember even what this stock did. This company does. Technology platform company focused on commercializing longevity science through products and services that serve the life insurance industry. Okay. I don't exactly know what all that means, but it's got a low float, it's got eyes on it, and it's got momentum. So it's gonna trade up a lot, and then one day, like today, the sellers are going to start to exit, and everybody else will with it. It's really just a momentum trade. I don't think there's very many fundamentally good reasons for it to go up this much. If there's, let's look at the financials. Loses money, okay, needs cash. So I would expect it's going to probably do an offering at some point, or try to find a way to raise capital so they can continue operations. But it's momentum more than anything. Yeah, no problem.
Michael's asking, any good news for Cisco? Well, ask us after today, because Cisco reports earnings in the after hours here today. Looks like we did dip out of the open here. That pretty much got bought back to even, but we'll see what they say for earnings here. Do you have any, are you playing this for earnings? Is this a long-term hold for you? What do you have going here on Cisco?
Yeah, we got that news, Mike, and it looks like Samsung is probably going to be next. Samsung may have to be restricted to selling chip to China. Lunar over 12 and taken off. Hopefully we get our 1265 print now. What's Rocket Lab doing? Rocket Lab also back over 21. Approaching the intraday high of 2144. Good Lord, this is fun.
Yeah, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Let's check in on the markets here. Let's check in on the broader indices and see how they're doing here. SPY looks like we just took VWAP back, although we are pretty much unchanged here. Let's take a look at the IWM. That's up just under 1% here. And then tech, the Qs, down about 0.25% here.
Oh my gosh. Love to see this. IonQ on quantum computing hot too. That's been emerging as well, because I remember seeing an article about how we could be much closer to quantum computing than was previously expected by years. I think there was talk of, it's like a decade or two out, and now I've been seeing analysts and reports saying it may be under less than 10. So we'll see if that's what happens. Might still be a good time to consider those. We'll have to look at some of those names. I know QBTS has been one that we've been playing as well, but there's a lot of good names out there, I think, and also some of the bigger names too, like IBM are also working on stuff as well.
BTCS right here at VWAP. I don't know if there's a trade. We watch if it goes through it here.
Rocket Lab on the verge of breaking the intraday high. Lunar still stretching for a 1265. Current high is 1230. BTCT just jumped. Yes, it did. Right up to VWAP, by the way.
Did it?
Yeah.
I'm watching BTCS here to maybe go through VWAP. What did BTCT do? Okay, that did go through VWAP, so maybe BTCS is next here. I'll try a little bit.
Rocket Lab through.
Bitcoin just pushed new highs here on Bitcoin futures chart 93,245. Lion Atlas reminds me of Kermit the Frog. They're just kind of sipping his coffee as he waits for that 95K target to get there.
Kermit the Frog here.
There you go. VWAP stands for volume weighted average price. Volume weighted average price. So it's giving you basically an average price considering the volume. This is often used as a support and resistance intraday level. It's denoted by the light blue line on the chart.
Yes, that is not a hip lingo. That is an actual indicator. Some indicators we do have fun names for, though.
Yeah, VWAP, that's just the abbreviation. It's just easy to say.
Yep. It doesn't mean anything else. Wow, Rocket Lab looking for 22. Needs to get through this 2183 wall, and then the next big one, right? The next big one is going to be at 22.
Truist Financial, there's 1,000 call sweep going off right here. 47.5s that expire tomorrow or the end of this week.
That's actually a good smaller bank. That'd be something that you could ask Tim Melvin on if he likes that one. I think that's a good smaller bank. Oh, where'd you go? Where'd you go, Ryan? Did you just leave me to my own devices? All right, Rocket Lab 2188, the current high, still getting a little bit of pullback after hitting that. There he is.
Yeah, sorry about that. I had to step away for a sec.
No problem. LAC, another. So this we were talking about it earlier. It popped up to VWAP, came back in after providing us with a few upper shadows. Now it's breaking through that VWAP again, trying to push to the intraday high of 443. Still looks like Rocket Lab wants 22. Lunar coming back in. See if it holds 12.
Smoke Tuna mentioning PSEC volume. If you remember correctly, this was a Tim Melvin pick that pays a monthly dividend.
Yes, Bigga Bees. That SunTrust banks, they merged with BB&T, and they became Truist. PSEC volume says Smoke Tuna.
Yep. That's what I just put on the screen here.
Oh gosh. Okay, so that one looks like it's going to come up to break over 438.
Thinking about it, so did I. Glad that you mentioned that. So did I. Bought that PSEC dip. Yes, sir.
Volume needs to be better. But it does look like it's going to try and go up to that 438 and try and break out. Let's see if I can find some levels on that. Oh, this thing got smacked recently. Let's see. What was that level? Okay. All right. So for PSEC, I see EMAs at 470, 485, and then you could say somewhere between 505 and 510. Those are the next upside levels for PSEC that I have.
SSYS back above 10. That was a bad trade for me. I ended up taking a loss on that one. Lunar still pushing higher.
That's amazing. Rocket Lab still coming back in a little bit. Lunar, actually, that got support from 12. The 12 handle.
Sure did.
So now we are coming back up. That was a beautiful support. All right. Now it's going to try and come back up. Sorry if there's some noise here. We got some vacuuming happening. But the 1234 level was the high that we got on that last 5-minute candle.
Lion Atlas, that is my there's nothing better than having scrambled eggs and hash browns and hot coffee watching that Bitcoin print some green moolah. That is my breakfast on Sunday mornings. I get out there, fire up the Blackstone, eggs, hash browns, bacon. Really good stuff. You're having a good day there, Lion. That is for sure. SPY bounced off that 596. Trying to continue. We'll see if the dip gets bought here. BTCS still just kind of holding out at the VWAP. See if I get paid on that or if I end up having to sell this.
Looks like LAC. This one is trying to get into the 440 handle again. Or not handle, but area. And could see that pretty soon here. Still above VWAP. A little bit of expanding volume if you get that much sooner than later. Rocket Lab about to push into another intraday high. Still looks like it wants 22. Hey, thinking about it, the whole space theme is working.
Sure is.
Working. Max 7, only Amazon Green. Yeah, back to only being Amazon again. 2190, now the high in Rocket Lab. Almost there. KXIN trying to push up to VWAP. What's up?
I literally just clicked on that when you had said that. And I was like, oh, here we go. Pushing up to VWAP.
All right. And are we going to get the 22 in Rocket Lab? We're on the doorstep, knocking, saying, let us in. 28,000 shares to chew through in that handle there. You know what? That wouldn't surprise me, Mike. That wouldn't surprise me at all. After that Starliner debacle, I'd imagine that they are getting them hand over fist now.
Yep.
Them, Rocket Lab, and maybe a handful of others. Oh, wow. The fight for 22 in Rocket Lab is on. I don't doubt it thinking about it. I think you are going to get that print. Oh, God. I think Rocket Lab may get a little bit weak here if we can't get the volume to take out these shares.
I think it probably hits 22 here. I would imagine anyway.
The buyers aren't as strong at the moment. Okay, here we go. Now we're getting a little bit more. Just need to really see that volume expand and take these out. Here we go. Now we're starting to get some of that volume to expand a little bit.
BTCS also trading back up here. We might go here. BTCS.
Lunar is pushing.
A lot of stuff moving today.
Lunar is pushing. Speaking of holding 10x in 5 years on Rocket Lab, I do not doubt it. It could be even that, like, in a shorter period of time, if the theme is as hot as I think it's going to be. I think we're just getting started with the whole space theme. It could get even hot. Oh, perfect. Rocket Lab over 22. It could get even hotter after that Starship launch on Monday, the test flight. Yeah. Okay. So hit 22. Everybody was happy, and now here we go. We're starting to sell off.
Rivian kind of building above its VWAP, trying to trade back up. Might be a trade there for the rest of the day, although I wouldn't trust it. Kava back above 160. I'd be curious if that can kind of stall at its VWAP. That might be setting up finally for a short here.
You know, Lion, you kind of have to, because if you let it affect you, it's going to affect your trading, and you end up trading not as well. You maybe take profits too early, or you just you get scared out of positions too early. It can affect you. So yes, have to keep be a little stone cold about some of these losses when you're taking them. Absolutely.
Jay mentioning even Virgin Galactic is up 10%, almost 11% here today. 820 your high print, by the way, on that.
Gosh.
All right, folks, we are waiting here on Zunaid. In just a couple of minutes, we're going to kick you over to Story Trading. Zunaid is going to walk you over there, but boy, oh boy, not before we had an amazing morning here. Benzinga's Market Edge getting those prints ready for you.
Mike, I'm curious. Your best trade ever being Virgin Galactic, was that when it had the their flight, their tourism flight? Is that when you had the best trade in that one? I'm just curious because I remember that event. JTAI, this one looks like it's turning around now, trying to push up back towards VWAP.
That was one of our halt fests from today here, and gave everything back. Gary, you're awesome. Hopefully you're banking here today. Chewbacca absolutely approves of you.
Oh, shoot, he's saying 6 to 65. That sounds like that was 2021. Let's see if that's when it was. Well, I think they delivered this.
Jonathan, Ryan, we should call you Triple R as you do the job of 3 people in the pre-market now. Tell you what, shoulders are wide. I will carry you through the pre-market. No question about it.
Yeah. Yeah. 20. I mean, it had several moves. It had a huge spike right before the pandemic began in March, when the market really sold off. The biggest move came in January 2021, and I think that launch was in later that year in June.
Hello, Zunaid.
Hey,
Good
Zaid.
morning. Good morning. Good morning. What's going on, fellas?
Indeed, it is a good morning. Well, we've been trading quite a bit of stuff here today. I know we had that CPI print initially popped the market, came all the way back in, retraced the entire move, but we're moving higher here on the SPY. And we had a lot of these smaller movers here today that we were able to hit. The space theme is blasting off to the moon.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. I wanted to take a look into that. I just want to kind of go over a couple of thoughts here with y'all. So let me know what you think about Disney, right? So here's Disney. Yep, I'm going to go to pull it up. You've got Disney. If you go to take a look at the daily, we had this level of 99.42 kind of marked off where you had support, resistance, came back, tested support beautifully on the daily yesterday. But long term, if you guys have a thesis before we go with story trading here, what are your thoughts on Disney long term? I believe the high of the stock was like in the twos way back
My
when.
first thought on Disney is, do they have a rocket ship? Because that seems to be all that matters here today. I'm just kidding.
Not
No,
a real one, maybe a cartoon one, but that's
Space
about it.
Mountain.
There you go.
Yeah, I Disney, pretty good stock. I don't have a line on it at the moment. I don't, not here. Let me get my chart up here. I'll see where my levels are at here on Disney. Sorry, I wasn't prepared for you.
I know you weren't prepared for a pop quiz. It's all right.
Well,
No,
I
it's
could
right.
tell you. Well, he's pulling that up.
I got it.
Okay.
I
go
got
ahead.
it. So let me just go here real quick. One of the things I'd be looking at for what happens right here, Zunaid, because I see that you're on a 15-minute chart there, but if you're on a daily chart here, we're right at that 200-day. We have been trying to make a move up here and recapture this since July. In fact, when we broke through it in July, we tried to recapture it, and we've only broken down. So I want to see, do we actually close above this line here? If so, I think we might even be able to trade up to like 115-ish. On a target there. If not, though, I think that this probably retests 100. Earnings tomorrow, by the way. Earnings tomorrow.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out with earnings. 13 final thoughts before we move on here.
Well, for Disney, if you can draw a trend line, and we're coming right up to that. So if you took the highs, like the peaks from March 2021 and September 2021, and drew it through the high from March 28th of this year, you'll see that trend line is what I'd be looking for resistance. That trend line has been providing resistance the past 3 times it's actually been touched. Depending on how earnings go, if it's positive, I could definitely see it popping up to there and finding resistance. Don't know if we're going to get the push through that yet, but the trend line is eventually going to break, and when it does, it will be bullish.
All right. Appreciate y'all's insights, and I believe this is kind of what you were referring to. I'm just going to quickly show. Oh,
Yes,
you had
sir.
it up already. My bad.
Yes.
Cool.
Sir.
Sweet. Awesome. Appreciate you both. See you
No
tomorrow.
problem. Bye, folks.
Take care.
All right, y'all. We will go ahead and get going with my man Bren, Rhett,
How you
and
doing?
where's Godfather?
Godfather had a
Not here
power
yet.
issue
Oh,
in his
okay.
office. He is
Okay.
trying to get to a different location with power, so we'll see if he makes it in time.
No worries at all. Let me go ahead and get things rocking and rolling. How you guys doing this week?
Doing awesome. I don't think we've spoken to you since the election. I don't think so. That was last Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
So it has been crazy. We've been all over the Trump trade. So our community's been banking on a lot of those names. It's been a really awesome week. So can't complain.
Now I'm trying to remember why we didn't have a show on Wednesday. I got to go back and look at the emails. But anyway, appreciate you guys for hopping on.
Oh,
and,
no. We must have had a show on Wednesday. It must have been after the election. Actually,
Election was on Tuesday.
Yeah.
we did.
Oh,
We did
so
have
we
a
were
show.
here.
Yeah, you
We did
threw
have a
me
show.
off. I was like, wait. No, I thought
did
we
have
were
a show.
good. No, because you guys,
We
you
did
guys
have a show.
positioned yourself in Tesla and different things like that. I think we talked about DJT levels as
Yeah,
well.
you're right.
but-
Right. Yeah, we
all right,
did.
let me
So
go
we
and
did
throw
it.
up
We
your
did it.
charts here. All right, show's all yours. I'll be back in about 28 minutes, fellas.
All right.
Appreciate it.
All right. Awesome. Well, look at this. Let's start with Bitcoin here. Bitcoin, we were saying in the last several days that if we break 90,000, we're going to have a straight shot to 99,000. And this is more of a psychological call rather than a technical call. You know, everyone's also been looking for that 100,000 for a very long time, including us. We've been in this as a swing trade. The weekly charts are the most impressive here. So we've been looking at the weekly charts, looking for a breakout to all-time new highs. We got that. And then our swing target beyond that was 100,000. And yeah, I think just psychologically, Rhett, you get into the 90s, and I think that's it. It's just a magnet. It's just psychology. And It's going to want to test 100,000. I don't know if the peak's going to be 98,000 or 99,000. Maybe it'll be 99,999, right? But I think that's where we're going. We called that saying it's going to happen in hours or days. And so far, we got a 3,000 point move after it broke 90,000 this morning after the light CPI. So risk on. Rhett, any comments on Bitcoin?
No, I mean, you've been nailing this one, Ben. Your analysis has been perfect on this, and people could have really played this one and made a lot of money off it. So,
yeah, well, I made the mistake this morning of saying, let's try ARK again on Bitcoin, because we've been playing ARK since the election, because ARK not only has Tesla, which is a Trump play, but it has Hood and it has Coin. which are both, move on crypto. The problem is, if we go to a crypto list here, I think a lot of this has been priced in. See, Coin is down 2%. Hood's only up 0.6%. This is telling you, basically, the whole market knew that this move to 100,000 is coming. So the miners have it priced it in. Now, a stock like MSTR, not as priced in. They actually are holding Bitcoin. So the value of the stock goes up as Bitcoin goes up. But it turns out the best way to play Bitcoin direct on this move from 90 to 99,000 is not RK. RK is moving more with Tesla. We'll talk about that in a second. It's really BITX. BITX is an ETF 2 times levered to Bitcoin. So I know at least one person in our community, been killing it on at least this particular call option. Look at that volume that just came in on BITX. $55 calls are up 97% today. So that's been the right way to play Bitcoin. I got into a little bit of BitX, but kind of late. So for me personally, I didn't execute on this one properly, although I gave you the right prediction on the morning show. So far, 90 to 92.5. I think we're heading to 99. Now, one that's worked out incredibly for me, my biggest gain of the day, up at least 200% on several different call options. ASTS, this was our top pick yesterday. Our top pick yesterday, calling for a move to $27 to $29. That was the target yesterday morning on our morning show when this thing opened at $24.50. Now, it didn't work yesterday, but I swung all of my call options. I said, this trade's not over. The earnings report is tomorrow. This thing has been beaten down since the Trump trade, and I wonder if it's getting a tailwind from the space names because of Rocket Lab at all. Maybe that's playing into it, but I expected this move anyway as an earnings anticipation run into, I believe, tomorrow afternoon. So hit our target of 29. Actually, look, you have the top of these candles here, 30.93, 30.93. Okay, I've been selling my calls on the way up. I have a few left. I think I had like 30 of them. I think I had 30 calls. I'm down to, I think, 7 calls left. So I've been banking on ASTS. I hope you kept a little, Rhett. I know yesterday didn't work out for you and you got out. Did he keep any of these?
Sadly, no.
Sadly, no. All right.
Yeah.
I told the Discord, I'm swinging all of my ASTS is what I said. I'm selling my common shares because I need to get that capital going for day trade buying power in my day trade account. But I'm swinging every last one of the contracts I bought yesterday, and it's paying off nicely today. So ASTS, top pick yesterday, really paying off today. Sometimes in that day trading account, you got to know when to swing for a day or two. So also have this in my long-term account. All right. That's Bitcoin, ASTS, Tesla. This, I think, is the first day so far I'm wrong. Since the election, we've been giving price targets that has hit each and every single day. I don't remember what price target I gave on Tesla on November 6th, the morning after the election. I had a whole thing that, we're going up. I gave some levels. I don't think I gave a price target for the day. Right? Correct me if I'm wrong later, but we were focused on Amazon breakout last Wednesday, which was incredible. Predicted the $200 breakout on Amazon. Our community made a ton of money. But the next 3 days, the next 4 days, actually, our price targets daily, we've been nailing. We've been day trading, and we've been nailing it every single day until now. We gave you a $299 price target on Thursday. It hit $299.75, pulled back. The next day, we gave you a $315 price target. Over exceeded that, hit $328.71. Closed at 321. The next day, we give you a 360 price target. Got close at 358.64 for the day. Hit 360 to 365 in after hours. Yesterday, we said time to lay off Tesla. It looks like it's going to be a correction day. We did find the bottom in our Discord, and some people made money on Tesla. I think you did also, Rhett.
Yeah, we literally perfect trade.
Perfect. We found the support bottom yesterday. Today, I was back bullish on Tesla. I thought we were going to hit 350 to 360. So this is the first day in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. We're wrong on Tesla. I'm very surprised, to be honest with you. We got positive sentiment from Trump. I wonder, I don't know, are some people saying Elon Musk is going to be too involved with Doge and Trump, that's going to harm his execution of Tesla? I'm not sure that I understand the psychology behind why Tesla is down today. And I'm not sure I buy it. It's only 11 a.m. Maybe we're going to do a red to green today. Okay. I haven't been wrong yet on the daily Tesla targets. The high was 344.60 today. I called for a target of 350 to 360. So this one so far is wrong. Now, the other thing we've been playing is ARK-K. My screen is freezing or my computer's freezing. Something's frozen. All right.
No, you're all good.
Okay. Other thing we've been playing as kind of a proxy, as I said, ARK-K has both Tesla coin and hood in it. So we have aggressive swing targets on this. We've been playing 64 at the 200-week moving average to 72, which is some candle resistance. And I'm sticking with this. Trouble is, how do you get there? 64 to 72. It's really got to be through Tesla, coin, hood, Palantir. Palantir has been kicking ass, I believe. These Kathy Wood's names are pretty exciting these days after a long period. Wow, Palantir I sold a long time ago. I thought it got too expensive. But you know where I put my money? When I sold out of Palantir, I went all in on HIMS, man. HIMS has been my third largest position since the earnings report. Another high here.
Beautiful.
And I think probably percentage-wise, it was the right move. Probably HIMS has been up more percentage-wise than Palantir. So that has been amazing. My third largest position. People made a lot of money in our Discord last week on HIMS call options. So that was a lot of fun. All right. So I digress. How did I get there? Because I was talking about ARK-K and the components that are in ARK-K. Kathy Wood's fund, all of a sudden, might get some love here. She's in the right places right now, some of her top holdings. But the way to get to 64 to 72, I worry that coin and hood, the move is kind of priced in, right? The move to 99,000, you can see we keep going up. 93, what I say, 99,000 is going to be a magnet. So I think it may be priced in. If you look at some of these crypto stocks, a lot of these miners, they're all down. This is all price. This is could be priced in. All right, with a lot of these names telling you that the market already knew and thought this was going to 100,000. So the way to play it was more direct, the BITX. So that's the problem with Hood's moving a little bit, helping it out here. But in order to get to my targets of 64 to 72, it's going to be primarily driven by Tesla at this point. Okay. Now with Tesla, we got crazy targets. We have a crazy video that we didn't share it yet on social media. Rhett will put that out later on our social media that we shared with our community last Wednesday. Did he put that out on social media? That Wednesday night 5-minute video I had on Tesla?
No, I have not put that one out yet.
All right. One day you'll see that and you'll see the value of being part of our community. But we essentially called all of these targets Wednesday before all this happened. We're like, Tesla's going to re-rate almost in a straight line to all-time new highs. Now, that 414, the timeline I gave was basically second or third week in January, we'll get to 414. But, with the psychology around Inauguration Day, but I've upped that. I've accelerated that target. So in order for ARK to get to 64 to 72, we really need to see Tesla make a move to that 360 level. Then the next level is 385. I believe it is on the chart right up here, 385, and then 414. I think a lot of this can still happen very fast and explosively. We'll see. But today's the first day I'm wrong on Tesla. So far, it's only 11:13 a.m. Okay, as we watch Bitcoin with a magnet to 99,000, it's coming. And I got into BitX late, but I'm glad I'm in it. Look at that. That's working out. Don't have big size, though. It's hard for me. It's hard for me to, even though I know it's going to 99,000, it's like, how do you buy BitX at 93,000? Even though I'm like pounding the table, 99,000. All right. Anyway, I'm glad people in our community are banking on Bitcoin, BITX, maybe a little bit better than me, but I'm banking on ASTS right now. Still got a few call options left. I've been selling on the way up all day long. This has been a lot of fun. All right. Tesla, we'll see. After we get off this, we'll collaborate on Discord, see if we can find that bottom. We found that bottom yesterday. I've been averaging down on these dips here at different levels. We'll see. I have to check where I'm at. Hopefully, I'm approaching break even on the Tesla calls right now. Okay. Wow. Been a crazy week. By the way, I want to say DXYZ. I wonder if this one is definitely a little bit overvalued in the low 30s. But this is SpaceX, man. If you're bullish Rocket Labs and we got Starship coming out again, I don't think. Look, we called this last week at $14, all right, with a $20 price target, and it hit so fast. Like we were out in within minutes of the open because it hit our price target. We made a lot of money on it, and at the time, I'm like, this can go to $100, but I'm not going to play it because that'll be a short squeeze without any fundamental support. I really think DXYZ is worth maybe in the low to mid 20s at this point, and that's based on my estimation that, if you want to say the fair value of DXYZ was what, let's say $10, okay, before the election, 35%, I believe, of DXYZ is SpaceX. So if you want to say that this is worth $10 and let's say 35% of that was what, $3.50, they got $3.50 in, SpaceX. I really think, and I think the valuation went and looked at it. What was it? 200 billion, Rhett? The last round. You looked up that number for us. I think it was around $200 billion.
Yeah, 200. I think it's 210.
Okay, so look, I think we're going to Mars, and I think Starlink. By the way, that's also another reason why ASTS went down after the election, was because people were like, okay, Starlink's going to benefit more than ASTS on their satellites service and their constellation. So let's see, 350. What if you say Starlink? What if you say SpaceX will be $1 trillion company? Then all of a sudden those shares are worth 15, 16, not 350. Add the other 7 back to it. You're talking about low to mid 20s is probably where I think this is worth. But they also own shares in OpenAI. So this is very interesting. It could short squeeze. It might not be over today, even with what's going on with Rocket Labs. It could go to $100, right? Like it did last time. But at story trading, we also look at fundamentals. So it's catalyst, sentiment, fundamentals, technicals. And if I think something's really overvalued, generally speaking, I don't chase it. So we'll see. If we get back in the low 20s, maybe I'll take something and get back into it. But yeah, that's the story with the XYZ. Now, feel free to jump in anytime, or if there's any comments, throw them up there. But TSSI. Wow. Okay, hit our target. Great. TSSI, we have been in this since 270. We had our 4-pillar trade card in our community where we show you the idea based on catalyst, sentiment, fundamentals, and technical. Spell it out for you. This has been the most probably you've ever seen me make, Rhett, because I've been right every step of the way. Perfect timing. Who says you can't time the market? That's all we do at story trading. We aim to time the market. And we do that because, and we think we can do that, we aspire to do that because we believe markets are efficient. If markets are efficient, then when you have a delta of information, you're going to have a delta in price pretty rapidly, right? And that's the benefit of believing in efficient markets, which we do. So if yesterday's price was the correct price, then you incorporate today's delta of information, and then you figure out what the price target will be in terms of the delta in price, and that's our process. So it was absolutely uncanny, the prediction with on TSSI. After they had the earnings report here, August 15th, now we're in it, I don't want to say small size, moderate size, because we're expecting good earnings. So they got the good earnings on October 15th, and we said, this is going to rapidly re-rate to $5. Now, it took a few days, right? We didn't, when you say efficient, when I say market efficiency, I don't mean instantaneously. I mean, if you look at a chart, all right, you look at the general direction of the chart, you look at the general direction, the area where stocks consolidate at, that is the fair market value. And if you think a stock is quote unquote undervalued or quote unquote overvalued, you just don't understand market dynamics. All right. You got to go back. You got to look at the fundamentals again. You got to look at the sentiment Sentiment matters. Is there poor sentiment? Is there positive, good sentiment? And that'll tell you if the stock will be quote unquote undervalued or quote unquote overvalued, right? That's going to give you a fair market value price. So in any case, we predicted that we would rapidly re-rate to $5 and then consolidate in the $5 range, which we did. So we rapidly re-rated to 5. That was based on a fundamental analysis and what the number said, what the magnitude of the beat was. If you sequentialize their earnings, this is an AI stock, by the way, TSSI, taking business from none other than SMCI, which is collapsing. Okay, so in any case, we came up with a $5 target. And we said that's going to be good enough until we start getting that anticipation, right? The ER anticipation run into the next earnings report. So they said, we're going to 5. We're going to consolidate at 5. And then we said the next target after that is 725 when the next leg starts for ER anticipation. All right. And we gave you the trigger for that. When we saw it coming out of the consolidation, we gave another alert to the Discord. We said, all right, guys, now is the next leg up. We're now anticipating the next earnings report. Let's make the move to 725. Guess where we peaked out? $7.30 right there. And we sold some. We gave the alert to our community. Perfect calls from 5 to 725. Guess what happened next? Rhett, do you remember? Okay. So we sold off 725.
Yep.
Went, look at that. Pulled back all the way to 5. And then we're waiting for the next catalyst for the next leg up. I forgot exactly what the catalyst was, but it was a combination of a catalyst and breaking out of this second consolidation area.
I think it's right there on that green candles when we called it out.
October 21st.
Right. Yep.
So we gave the alert October 21st, and we said, guys, guess what our next price target is now? For the next move, we upped our target because of lots of news that was coming out. Initially, our target was 725 before earnings. So up here, October 21st, we upped our target. We said $8 to $10 is your next target on TSSI. $8 to $10 before the earnings report. Guys, the earnings report is tomorrow. The stock is trading at $10 right now. And we called it on October 21st. I said, look for 8 to 10 before the earnings report, which is happening tomorrow after the close, November 14th. So beautiful move from $2.70 to $10. We had it the entire way. And now we have some updates. All right. We have some updates tomorrow morning. This is going off OTC and it'll be on the NASDAQ. And that's why you see this big gap up this morning. So it overachieved our $10 target because of this new information that we're going to be on the NASDAQ tomorrow. So the trade was, and we said it this morning, people are going to front run this. People are going to want to load up so they can sell to the new buyers coming in tomorrow morning. And that's what's happening here. So it overshot our $10 target. And we'll see what happens from here. I have some thoughts on what's going to happen next and how to play it. Look at DXYZ. People have been watching this show and decided to pile into DXYZ live as that Rocket Lab, the hot Rocket Lab money, looking for other stocks. And where are you going to go? You're going to go to SpaceX. So in any case, if you want to hear what happens next with TSSI, join us in our Discord, storytrading.com/Discord. This has been the call of the year. It's my largest position. I got a 40% weighting and up a lot. Okay. Multiple 6 figures on TSSI. Not my best trade yet. That was air. That was a 7-figure trade. We're looking for TSSI one day, hopefully, to become a 7-figure trade, depending on what they report tomorrow afternoon. But we think we have a pretty good idea. All right. DXYZ, unbelievable. I wish I was watching my show instead of on this show. So while I was talking, I could have picked up some DXYZ at $33. Now $34.85 as that hot money from the space trade comes in. Where is it going to go? This is the best place to come into, man. This is SpaceX. Not a lot of people know that yet. I don't think everyone knows that yet. A lot of people do, but I don't think everyone knows yet that DXYZ is SpaceX, but it is overvalued. We're talking about $1 trillion valuation for SpaceX. Let's say at DXYZ 25. All right, 25. Let's throw a little premium in. $25. So if you're at $34, you're talking what? I don't know, 1.5 trillion valuation for SpaceX. But I got news for you. I think DXYZ. I think SpaceX will be worth $1 trillion one day, maybe soon. Okay.
No,
Rhett, that was a mouthful. What do you got on your plate? Any comments over there?
Someone just put in the video and then everyone was saying TSSI, just
I have
expanding
not
factory.
looked. Yeah, I have not looked at the Nvidia chart in weeks. I mean, I'm sure it's great. You can see that looks like it keeps hitting new highs every other day, but I don't know what to tell you. This is small cap time. You know, fine. The big caps, some of them can do well. AI themes can do well, but risk is on, and we're making a ton more money percentage wise in the stocks we've been talking about right now.
We have another.
Yeah.
Yep. Then we have another question. Someone is asking, what percentage of SpaceX does DXYZ own? And it's 34%, I believe.
No. 34% is the percentage of DXYZ, which is SpaceX.
Yep.
But they own just a tiny fraction of it. In fact, you can maybe calculate.
Well, I was saying in their fund is 34%.
Right. So let's see if it's if 34% of their fund, 200 billion. Let's say that was a NAV of $10. I can't figure it out now, but 10. Let me see. Let me see if I can figure it out. So about 200 million. They probably had 50, 60, 70 million dollars worth of SpaceX at the 200 billion valuation, something like that. It's something like that, I think is what it is. Something like that, about 50 million worth at a 200 billion valuation. Okay, back in the napkin math.
And then we have another CLDI. You want to pull that one up?
Yeah, I'll pull it up, but I know nothing about it at all. Don't think I've ever heard of this. See, it's a biotech company. Well, let's see.
Taking off today.
Market cap 40 million. 40 million. Short interest, not too high. It's a biotech. Is there news? This is probably, if I had to guess, no, they had some news. Advances with FDA clearance and funding based on the so yeah, I can't analyze this quickly, but Caldi Biotherapeutics, a leader in targeted anti-tumor viro therapies, and my screen disappeared. What happened? I was reading it, but it's gone. I don't know. They got some sort of FDA clearance and funding. Okay. Raised $2 million through a direct offering. And yeah, look, I got better things to play. I like to do things based more on fundamentals as well and underpinning. A lot of these are just hot potato names that, they have news behind it, but it might be warranted. It might not be. I don't know. I'd have to look into it. It's probably phase one or something like that, but I think there's better things to play. Look at HIMS or...
I tell you what, Ben, you were spot on with Kava today, saying that was way overvalued.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I said it was way overvalued, so I just ignore it. I mean, it doesn't mean it can't go up. I'm like, better things to play. All right, so 172 to 156. Okay, beautiful. So let's see what else we got going on here. Bitcoin over 93,000, playing with that. ASTS. Tesla, I can't wait to get back and do a little bit of Tesla trading this afternoon with our Discord. TSSI right there at our target. Unbelievable. All right, beautiful. I'm sure if Godfather was here, he'll talk to you about Ecor. I don't know it well. I believe they have earnings after the close today. I did have a position in this. I forgot why. So I needed to raise money for something yesterday. I forgot what it was. Maybe it was buying more RCAT. I think that's what it was. Maybe we'll talk about RCAT in a second. But Ecor looks good. I hear great things about Ecor, and people are expecting a really good earnings report. RCAT exploded. Did it hit? Wow, it hit 421 this morning? No way. Wow, I missed that. So RCAT, we're all over this one. We called, this was a top pick yesterday, calling for a new 52-week high yesterday. It did that. It broke out. We're waiting for big contracts to come through. I forgot why I mentioned that now. And hold on a second. It's already 9/11/27. I think there was one more thing we should cover. Oh, that's why I said I sold Ecor to buy RCAT, more RCAT yesterday. That's what I did. I bought RCAT call options, and I also bought, what else I bought? I loaded up on OpFi yesterday, including call options. They're down 3%, but this has been working really well for us as well. A lot of these are Godfather names. And what was the other one? Oh, Dave. Here's one that in our Discord, we're pounding the table, Godfather specifically, at $70. It's now $90. All right. And then this morning, I gave everyone an alert on okay, right here. It was actually below 78. I'm like, boom, there's a big seller there. When it's taken out, this thing's going to fly. So gave that alert. That's doing well. In this right now, Dave, big earnings report, up 45%. They increased their guidance by 60%. We got a Godfather has a $150 price target on it. Maybe this can do what CIII did. That's why I'm still in some of this today as a day trade. CIII last week, look at this move. That was insane, from 266 to 454, like up 80%. So maybe there's still more room left today. And Dave, on an earnings re-rating, because markets are efficient, delta of information, you get that delta in price pretty quickly. Okay, I love saying markets are efficient because it drives fundamental investors mad. And I just hate how close-minded they are about that. And I just love pissing them off, even though I also love working with them, like the Godfather and Money Mark. But we have a mutual respect for each other's processes. All right. So in any case, this has been awesome as we're looking for Bitcoin to maybe test $100,000 tonight, $99,000. Can't wait to get back to our Discord, get back to some trading. If you want to join us, you head on over to storytrading.com/Discord. It's only $2 a day. We'll see you there. Any other comments while we wait for Zunaid to kick us off?
Someone said selling puts on coin. Any take?
You know what? I'm opening, and we'll open a new channel in our Discord. I'm opening an account just for the wheel strategy. And this is for income generation. All right. I need it. Most of my assets are in my retirement account. So, it's been exploding, but I can't pull any of it out. And I can definitely use more cash flow in my life right now. So I am opening a wheel strategy. Looking at that, that's going to be exciting. We're going to start that later this week or early next week. We'll open a new channel. We'll have a spreadsheet out there looking at the premiums you can get and the cash you can collect on a regular basis, selling cash secured puts. That's going to be fun. Zunaid, how you doing? How do you like that?
Good. I love it. Cash secured puts and the wheel. A lot of people like to use that strategy. And, you can always, you don't need a lot of money to utilize it as well. I'm sure you have little, twist to it, to like maybe doing spreads to where you're still collecting a little bit and participating if you don't have all the money to buy the shares and sell the calls. So I like it, man.
Yes.
All right. Appreciate you guys.
Awesome.
Rhett, Ben, we'll see you guys next week.
Sounds good. Have a good one.
See ya.
Yep. Bye-bye.
All right, chat. We are going to go ahead and talk some futures action. I've actually got, let me go ahead and switch things up here. One moment. Where am I at? That's one, and we'll rock with this one. Awesome. All right, we're going to go ahead and have some futures talk. This show is sponsored by Apex. What is Apex? I'm going to go over that. Then I'm going to go ahead and bring on my man, Kevin, here in a moment. But Apex is a platform that I personally use. It's like an eval platform for futures trading. Right now, they've got a sale for 80% off. Make sure you use the promo code FEVER. This way, it helps us out here at Benzinga, helps us show out. But you can get a $50,000 account. I'll break it down here for you in a moment. But it's a $50,000 eval account that you can get for, I believe it's like $35, $36. And you have to hit a profit target of $3,000 before you hit a trailing down drawdown of $2,500. Now, what happens if you get a profit in your eval account of $3,000? Well, then you can go ahead and get what's called a funded account. So you pay an additional $100. So now you spend about $140. And you can get a funded account where you pretty much get, people say, oh, you have a $50,000 account to trade with. No, you have a drawdown of $2,500 because you passed the eval. And now you can go ahead and trade with that. And that's kind of exactly what I've done here. And I'll show you guys. Let me go ahead and So here's my funded account, right? You can see all my information right there. And this isn't, something that Apex just gave me a funded account. I passed the eval. Once I passed the eval, I went ahead and started trading with my funded account. And today I placed some trades. We'll go through them with Kevin, but I'm up about $304 today. So a couple of trades, couple of wins, up $300. Account started with 50,000. It's up 1655. I'm going to try to build this up over the end of the year if possible. I'm not going to force anything to say maybe 4,000 in profit so that I can go ahead and just cash them out. That could be a lot of fun. But Kevin, give me a thumbs up when you're ready to rock, man. Good morning, brother. How are you?
Good morning, man. I'm doing good. How you doing? Happy Wednesday.
Thank you. Happy Wednesday to you as well. I was just talking about, Apex. I know you've used them in the past as well. Tell me a little bit about your experience and we'll dive into the charts here.
Yeah. Experience with Apex or with today's price action?
Let's go with Apex and we'll dive into the price action.
Awesome. Yeah, Apex is a fantastic, fantastic service, especially because the recent update. But in general, what they offer to new traders, what they offer to even if you feel like you're a bit more experienced, but you're having trouble with risk management or you know that something's holding you back, Apex is the way to go because it's not just a paper account. You know, they give you the evaluation account to trade. You have to prove to them you're consistent. And once you prove to them, like Zunaid said, then you pay that one-time lifetime fee, you're funded, and then you're able to take your payouts. Just stay consistent, have your plans and have your strategy and have your system implemented every day.
All right. Appreciate that, man. Let me go ahead and bring your charts up. Walk me through what you're seeing price action-wise today.
For sure. So this morning we had CPI data come out, which gave us this crazy, crazy candle. So whenever we have some type of CPI, PPI, jobless claims, any type of big data events around 8:30 Eastern, I like to mark out the low that was created and the high that was created. Now with that, I usually look for some type of setup. Now we got a really nice wick with good volume right below the data low over here on ES. So that was a potential long. I did not take this trade, but it was something that we were looking at on the Twitch at Kevin Futures. I do go live on there Tuesday through Thursday and also on YouTube at Bullish Bears Trading. But this was a long setup. I was looking at the risk to reward on this. If you did want to give it a little bit more space, would have been about a 3-to-1. I usually like to look for closer trades, you know, maybe a 4-to-1, 5-20, even a 6-to-1, because then with those trades, what you can do is if we are failing to hit that take profit, you are able to, you know, cut your winner short, but still have a good risk to reward on it.
All right. Then so would you have taken gains here though, or are you waiting for it to hit the top?
So I would probably take some contracts off at this point because right now we're coming into a 30-minute supply zone. I'm going to show you the two zones we have marked out up here. The first zone we broke through with that data, but we ended up rejecting right before we hit that second zone. Now, if you notice, we have previous day high at 60.36 and previous day low at 59.86. Today's price action has been especially choppy, especially if we look at something like the 5-minute. And it's almost like we're able to tell and expect some type of chop because we haven't broken that previous day high, that previous day low. We're expecting range-bound price action because we haven't created a new high from yesterday or broke a new low from yesterday. So
Okay.
this would have been a real nice trade because it's a range-bound trade, right? We're not getting in expecting a new high of day. We're not getting in expecting a new low of day. We're getting in expecting to buy the lows and sell the highs.
Yeah. And then you've got here, let me go to my charts here in a second.
Yeah.
You kind of talked about the range bounce. This is what I have on the 30-minute on the NQ. Now it's the MNQ. But you've kind of got, you know, the consolidation that you kind of mentioned. And you can see I've got alerts set as well at 21.57 and also 21.251 for the top break. So we'll see where it ends up want to go. Now I will go ahead and trade, and I have traded. Matter of fact, here I can go ahead and show. Where are my executions? There we go. Apply to all. Should show them. Yep, there you go. So you can see I've took a couple of trades. One of them were, and this is on the micro E-mini NASDAQ futures, 15-minute chart. Purchased 5 contracts at 21,131, sold them at 21,148. So a quick little 13, 14 point trade. I saw it kind of making higher highs, if you will. Continuously, you saw wicks on the 15-minute. You saw buyers step up. And as soon as I saw that, I went ahead and got in. Currently, it is above VWAP. So we'll see if it does want to continue going from red to green. We'll see if it does want to do that. But for now, I'm going to sit off the sidelines. And that's what I've got. So how would you try to kind of play it now, right?
Yeah,
so would you wait for it to, like, what's the game plan here for you?
I mean, that's great how you have it marked out right now. That was a great trade. You took great trading that momentum. Right now, it's really in a tough spot. Obviously, the more recent price action we've had has been to the upside on ES, but we have to be careful because now ES is very close to taking out that data high again, and that's a supply zone up there around 60.30. The last time we were in the 60.30 area, we got a really strong move to the downside all the way down to 59.90. So I want to see if we have an imbalance, if we have any unfilled sell orders sitting around 60.30, maybe 60.33, and look for a short position. Oh, do you want to share my chart?
Yep, there you go. My bad.
Awesome. No problem. Let's see. So the last time we were at this 60.30 level, that I'll show you guys again real quick. So right now, we made a previous high. We made a pivot high right below supply at 60-30-25, and we made that with the data, right? So CPI gave us a strong move. Once that move started to fade, it gives us our data high. Once that move moves in one direction, it also gives us our data low. So again, that's sort of how I would trade that, is I would target, once we start rejecting and reversing at, say, the data low, look to take out the data high. But at this point, because we are still range bound, I would really be patient and wait to see if we could get a rejection around 60-30, because like I mentioned before, the last time we were around 60-30 to 60-35, we dropped about, let's see, bring up our ruler tool. We dropped about 40 points on the ES, right? So the last time we were in this zone, and this is an area that was resistance a whole bunch of times before we finally had a strong move lower. So instead of trying to take that breakout higher, I want to see if sellers could trap those buyers and move back lower. And I'll maybe look to target perhaps a VWAP or some other area of consolidation. So it would look something like this. I would target maybe the next area or the next pivot, right? Because a lot of people who were trying these long positions, they're going to have their stop losses trailing at recent pivots, like this pivot or this pivot. Those are where people will have their stop losses, right? If you got long here, where would you put your stop loss, right? Not a retail trader, but we are all retail traders. If you end up going long here, you get the momentum. A lot of times the people will put their stop losses at a wick. Right. Those wicks bring a lot of strength. They say this, the body tells a story and the wick tells the damage. So this wick right here telling the damage tells me that we had a good chance at making our way back higher to at least the 60-23. And this data high right here, this wick high right here with supply, if I didn't have that supply zone and I was a retail trader looking at the chart, I would say, oh, we took out this low. We're going to go make a new high a day and we're going to continue. But because I have my zones, I'm aware of how we reacted the last few times we were in this area. I'm going to be patient and look to play it with the higher probability, higher odds. Are we going to reject the zone again like we have in the past? Or if we don't, I'll be patient and wait to see if we can get a real break over it. And once we break over it, I'll look to use this zone as an area to go long and target the next supply zone.
And this is on the ES, folks. Is it the same strategy for you on the NQ then?
Yeah, so this is the ES, and it would be the same strategy for the NQ. I know you usually trade the NASDAQ a bit more, which I do the same thing. The ES is great because it does help give us like really tight entries, could maybe have a point or two of a stop loss. But I like to use them together because what we see now is that ES was a lot closer to taking out that data high. The NASDAQ is not really close to it whatsoever. So that tells me two things. It tells me that we have divergence, which means there's a good chance of a reversal back lower. And it tells me that the NASDAQ is much weaker. Plus, the NASDAQ did reject the supply zone. It did not break it like the ES did. So there's a few things I would take into account, and I would really be patient and wait to see if sellers want to step back in these areas on NASDAQ and the ES.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and kind of chart something here, and you tell me what you don't like about it, or in terms of trade. Yeah,
sure.
So here's what I've got. This is the ES 15 minutes. I've got this trend line, right? You've got this top wick, which is November 11th. Then this other second touch point, which is Tuesday. And then we did go ahead and break out, failed, tried to break out, couldn't do it, broke out here. And now this is a 15-minute candle. What I want to do is if this 15-minute candle in about 2.5 minutes, if it does go ahead and close below this trend line, I would like to go short with a stop loss above this wick. So about a, call it 10, 12 point stop loss. So maybe I'll grab micros to manage my risk properly. However, if it does close above the body, above this trend line, I would look to possibly go long.
Okay, so I see what you're saying. Absolutely. And you know what, that can work out. Trend lines can be very subjective, right? Depending on where you draw them. You know, if you move that trend line up a little bit to match a different wick, you know, then maybe the trend line, we would already be above it. And we would have already closed above it. You would have already been in a position, right?
Valid. Yeah.
So it's definitely important when using trend lines to also be aware of those recent highs. Now,
Mhm.
maybe what you could say is, okay, if we close below this trend line and we create this lower high on ES, I could enter a short position with my stop loss at this recent lower high and look to see if we want to go make a new low of day again, because it has been trying to push lower.
Yeah.
On the flip side of that, there's also, did we take out that major low to the downside this morning to go hit a new high of day? So what I call this area where we're at right now is the middle of nowhere. When we don't have a supply zone telling us one thing or a demand zone telling us another, we just sort of have just price in the middle of space.
Okay. I respect it. All right. So no trade, you're saying?
I would think no trade. I would maybe even
I respect it.
I would let the 15-minute close. As we see the 15, I mean, we just had 1, 2, 3. We had 5 green 15-minute candles in a row, all for maybe one red candle, or maybe the next one will also be red, to take just 2 candles to wipe out all of that buying pressure, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I mean, this one here, you can see it's kind of engulfing. You got 30 seconds to close the 15-minute candle. It's kind of engulfing the previous 15-minute here.
Yep.
We'll see how it closes.
Something you could do as just like, it's funny, I call it homework whenever I have clients or somebody that I'm helping in coaching. I always give them some type of homework, something to do, something extra to keep an eye on in the market, whether it's previous day high and low. Something I would want you to do, because I see you keep coming back to the 15-minute time frame, is try to mark out previous 15-minute open highs and lows. Because you see how we wicked the low of that previous 15-minute candle? And it looked like we were going to engulf. Now let's see how the price action reacts to that, and see if we want to pull back and trap people who were trying to take that short.
Now, here's what I'm going to try to do. MES. All right. This is it should all be the same. Give me 1 second here. Quickly try to do this. We'll take a very, very, very small trade just for,
Don't take it on that funded.
Well, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take 1 micro, unfortunately, on the funded, right? We'll do 1. And I think we'll trade, what is it? Maybe $100 is what we're risk. I think that should be enough. Oh, that's plenty. Yeah. So we'll have her take profits here.
All right.
So I think we're risking
you're trying longs here.
No, we're going short. So we're going short.
I'm sorry, you're short here.
Yeah.
I'm looking at too many screens.
No, you're good. You're good. So we're going short here. We'll see if it works out. I think if it doesn't, I lose $20 or so.
Okay.
No clue. This is one of those where like I need to trade, but I'm okay risking $20 to get my hit. You know what I mean? To get my fix set.
No, I get it. Listen, I get it. And that's also a benefit of Apex, right? If you had another evaluation account, you could go trade that other account and say, I hit my target on my funded account. I'm done for the day. I have my fix to take a trade. Let me go trade a new eval account. So if I take a small hit, I don't care.
Now you're making me go full degenerate mode, because I do. Oh, this one's already. Oh, I actually need to convert.
No,
this
don't
one
do
to
that one.
Yeah, that's all I got. So I might need to convert that one to a funded as well. But all right, cool. We'll see how it goes. Obviously not going well, but this is why you don't want to force a trade. Maybe I should just listen to Kevin. But we're risking $25. It'll be all right. What else you got for us? Any other insights that we can take a look at here?
I was looking at crude and gold today. Those have both been very bearish, right? A lot more bearish momentum in those since we had the election. We had the election and we just sort of went ballistic to the downside. Election was over here, and this is crude on the left side. We dropped over 5% since then.
Yeah.
Same with gold. I think we dropped like 5%, 4% on gold, and it's still going. So that's something I would keep an eye on, maybe something for gold to continue to the downside until it finds some area of support. The next major pivot I would have on gold would probably be this major daily swing low, right? And I love using the daily time frame to find these major pivots, because a lot of times the market will react to them or show us some type of idea if we want to continue or hold. So that is 25.72. And if you want, I know gold does move very volatile. You could trade micro gold as well, MGC.
MGC, what is that?
That's
it's just micro bull. Okay.
Yep. And then same with crude. You could do MCL and trade micro crude. Micro crude only moves $1 per tick, because crude moves $10 a tick. And same with gold. I think it goes from $10 a tick to $1, because it moves 0.1 at a time. and crude moves 0.01 at a time.
Okay, gotcha. And then you've got you don't trade platinum or anything, right?
I do not. I do have natural NG up, natural gas up. I haven't really traded it. I've just been keeping it up to keep an eye on it, see how we react to zones. But like this right here, we have a big basing candle, a move lower. So I would mark this out and say, okay, this is my supply zone. Supply and demand gives me an idea of the top and bottom of a range. This is a broken zone. We'll delete this one. And I'd say, okay, well, now where was a recent high? Well, it looks like we had a recent high here. We consolidated there and pushed back up. So I would be patient, see how we react to this zone. Just basic supply, demand, support, resistance, and liquidity sweeps.
Okay. And then, so by the way, these zones, right? Are you placing them manually every single time, or do you have a script that you like to use?
Yeah, no, I'm placing these manually each time. So I'm placing them, removing them, and using them all at the myself, right? So I want to, and I feel like that's great because there isn't going to be a script that finds them exactly how I find them. And when I'm doing the analysis to find them, it gives me the opportunity to really look at the chart at different perspectives, right? Look at it from the 30-minute time frame, the hourly time frame, the 4-hour, the daily. What is the market doing? Where is the strength? Where is the momentum? Or is there no strength and no momentum, and we should just sit on our hands and be patient?
Got it. Okay. All right. Let me see if there's other questions. By the way, chat, if you guys have any questions, or if you guys want us to even take a look at some stocks to go ahead and chart those, I'm happy to kind of walk through it. One of the ones, actually, let me go ahead and share my chart as I was looking at AMD for the break. Now, we got the break on the 15-minute. Now, I'm not going short until we at least come back and test the previous support area. So I wouldn't go short unless we got to the area of about 141.30s, give or take. That's where I'd be looking to go short, and my stop loss would probably be about 142.32. So that would be, let's see, if we did take this trade, again, it hasn't gotten to the price point yet, but let's just say we took it smack dab right there at the entry. That's all right. We would be looking at our stop loss to be approximately $1, which means for this to be a 1-to-1 trade, our take profits would be about $1.40 and 28 cents. So 140.28 is what it would be. What do you think about something like this? And the reasoning behind why I would want to take this short? What are some holes that you can poke here?
Listen, I do like that. As for holes I would poke in it, I would just be aware of what the market is doing in general, right? So if I'm playing devil's advocate, if the NASDAQ is really strong and we do see that momentum back in the market, then I don't want to short a tech stock like AMD, because a lot of times AMD and NVIDIA, that helps fuel the move higher. That should usually be trending with the NASDAQ. But I do like that move. Looking at the chart right now, this is AMD. The green dotted lines and red dotted lines, that's previous day low, previous day high. That is an indicator I use. I only use that indicator on my equity charts. That way I don't have to plot them out each time, because equities I use to keep an eye on and to get an idea of where is their strength, right? We see right now, Microsoft has been pushing a lot higher. So I know that most likely NASDAQ is also going to be pushing higher. Same with, this is the weighted index. What the weighted index is, it's a handful of stocks. You could pick whichever ones you want. Mine are Microsoft, Apple, NVIDIA, Amazon, and I believe it was Meta. And it's about 4.5 of Meta, 5.05 of Amazon. This was all weighted from how much they were holding on the NASDAQ at some point. I believe it was, I do think it was like a year or two ago, though. So I do need to update it. But what it does is it tells us pretty much what the NASDAQ would be doing if it only composed of these symbols up here, right? If it was only Microsoft, Apple, NVIDIA, Amazon,
okay.
Right? Isn't that cool? So
interesting.
That's
Yeah, I like that. It's like the Mag 7. I don't know if those are exactly the ones that are in there, but it's like those top tickers that everyone talks about. You get a chance to see how they are doing.
Exactly. And I keep an eye on previous day high and low on those too. Look for any trends. Are we trending on this? Are we chopping on this? Same thing. Like I use the weighted index along with ES and NQ and the VIX.
And then you've got, by the way, that trade that we took. It did go ahead and stop out. So we did lose, what is it? I think $30 or something like that. So you know what? Glad it could have been, it's one of those things where like we knew what the risk we were taking and you just had to get your fix in. Thankfully, the fix wasn't more expensive. than it could have been. But appreciate you joining me, man. Let me go ahead and get your chat stuff here once again. But any final thoughts from you before we head out?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Actually,
I mean,
there's someone who asked for WBD. I apologize. I missed this one. Let me go ahead and start charting it, and then I can go ahead and see if you have any insights on there.
Yeah.
The WBD. All right.
Oh, I like that.
Warner
I like
Brothers.
the daily right now. It's a nice breakout.
Let's see.
I'd watch 981, see if we could close above 981 today and look for continuation.
I'll share yours. I'll share yours. Go ahead.
Cool. I would like, so we see this recent daily high. So I would like to see if we can maybe close above this 980, right? So see if today could close above 980 or even at least push above it and look for tomorrow's price action for continuation. I would probably look for the next pivot, which is about, I believe, 1015, maybe even like that 1020 area, like right up over here. So that's about 1050. I mean, it looks good if we look at the weekly time frame. So again, get a bit of a higher time frame analysis of it. Yeah, I like 1015 as a target to the upside. I like the momentum on it. We had a bit of a market structure shift right here, right? We closed above this recent high. This is the weekly time frame too, so it does show a lot more. If I was taking longs, I would be careful though. Probably look, if you're trading momentum wise, you know, you're going to be day trading it to that 1015. Look to keep your stop loss. Probably, I would say pre-market lows over here. This area right here looks like a pretty solid level because if we extend it left, we see price consolidated a lot every time we came into it. So 925. So I'd look for maybe an entry somewhere over here. Target 1015. Stop loss 925. But of course, when you're trading it, you're going to be trading momentum. So you're not going to be using a very wide stop loss like that, right? You'll look for a breakout in continuation. But those are the levels I would keep an eye on.
Awesome. So for me, that 980 for sure. You can see if you go ahead and look left, you do have that resistance from Thursday, November 7th. And then I would wait for a break of it if you're trying to go long, grab some. Then if it goes above 10, I would go ahead and continue adding to another, say, 50% of my size. And then my stop loss in terms of a swing trade would be like 950 or so. But I'm not a swing trader but this is also not the best stock, at least I don't know in terms of movement for day trading for me personally, but just in terms of levels, that's what I'm seeing. You've also got the previous close here at 922 that'll act as support as drawn out as well. Awesome, man. Kevin, any final thoughts from you, pal?
That's it, man. We got some choppy price action today. Hopefully tomorrow we get some breaks of previous day high. We get some momentum or we get something, you know. I did want to announce, if you don't mind, my coaching business. I put up a sale to give back to the Benzinga community. If you do want to coach a session with me at tradingpioneers.net, type in the code Benzinga at checkout for 50% off your first session. Just want to throw that out there. I do primarily trade futures though, so not too much in the equity field. But yeah, check that out. Do appreciate the support. And yeah.
Awesome. Appreciate that. And then I've got your Twitch up there, and I'll go ahead and put this up on that there as well. So folks, go ahead and check out my man, Kevin. Kevin, thank you so much for your time here today, pal. And we'll see you next week.
Absolutely, man. Take care. See you next week.
All right. Chat, we appreciate you for joining us here today. Make sure you guys go ahead and check out our other streams. We have earnings that are going to be happening throughout earnings season. I know my man AT has some fun things planned for NVIDIA's earnings, so you get a lot of different insights from different expertise, or different experts rather, in the industry. So that'll be some fun content for you guys. And of course, you can check out my man Ryan tomorrow again at 8 o'clock. And don't forget, if you want to go ahead and check out Apex, if you want an eval account, 80% off right now. The promo code FEVER will always get you the best discounts available in the market. There is the link in the chat. Let me know if you guys have any questions. You can always email me at zunaid@benzinga.com. And we appreciate you guys. See you next time.